siya. Magiging main target. Kelra inaabot siya. Flowing blood. And sabay second skill. Toshi na magamit na ng blades. Pero nakuryente na nga. Oh no. 2 heroes are now down for OMG. Kelra also. Kakamagit mo lang, Tads. Flowing blood in. Double kill na rin. Mountain Chacarino. Mapapatumba si Kelra. But still, tatlo na yung napatumba. 10-10 is the scoreline. Lamang ang OMG. We have ourselves a great ball game, EDZ.
Indeed. At nakita naman natin, Hajizi, unti-unti na siyang nakakaroon ng kanyang items. Endless battle pickup for this guy. 215 ang kanyang KDA. And also BOD. So masakit na talaga ang damage dito. Especially using the passive, the Heavenly Bow. Kapag nakahanap siya ng magandang positioning dito, it's kahit si KelVJ, kailangan niya laging gamitin or keep in mind kung bago niya gagamitin kanyang ultimate to get out of the fight. So parang parang double-sided coin yan eh. It's either gagamitin mo yung ultimate mo pang aggressive para mahuli si Hajizi. Pero after using your ultimate, you need to make sure na mapapatay mo si Hajizi in a burst.
Yeah, ang hirap din kasi sa isang Alice, maghihintay ka ng damage eh. Hindi mo calculated eh.
Totoo.
Kung i-tap mo eh, alam mo lang magsusurvive ka, but GC magsusurvive pa ba siya dito? Mukhang hindi na. Nakubuti naman pa nga siya dito ng Void Blast. Oh no! Kelra and company now owning OMG. Dalawa na wala sa side ng OMG. There you go, na super slow pa nga. But Toshi from the back. There you go. Napalaban pa. Medyo magiging main target. Nasa loob ngayon ng execution. Can Toshi do it? Oh no, Kelra and KelVJ, the double K connection is here. Execration will wipe out Omega.
Nakita natin yung positioning dito ng Execration. Magaling silang pumili ng fight. Nakita nila na maganda yung pagkakalagay dito ng real world manipulation ni Etomax, and that gave them a lot of opportunity. And I saw them earlier na may nakakuha siya ng Ice Queen 1.
Yes,
down.
And TTZ tapos ata.
Naku.
Tapos ata.
Naku.
Kelra and Kiel, ladies and gentlemen. Kalahati dito ngayon ang base. At ngayon napalaban pa ang OMG. Kamuntikan pa. At sa wakas nakita na natin the debut ng bagong partnership. Kaibigan TTZ.
Nako.
Kelra and Kiel. What a combo.
Pakagandang movement dito. The Kelra and KelVJ connection. Talagang alam nila kung sino ipa-prioritize nila when it comes to that fight. But again, another fight na naman. Umalis ka agad ang OMG sa real world manipulation.
Nahihirapan sila sa slow nun eh.
Man. At talagang nakikita mo naman, si KelVJ umaatake na naman. Able to take down the Jawhead out of the play. 2-for-1 exchange.
Ibang klase pare, the sustain. And now nag-overstay ang OMG. Nag-overchase sila. Execration. Again, another late game winning situation na pwedeng mangyari dito. Tatlong hero ngayon ang buhay sa side ng OMG, pero may revitalize dito ngayon ng side ng Exe. Toshi, he wants to target Chaknu. Chaknu with the circling eagle in. Matatarget si Toshi dito. Soul Bloom coming in. Toshi, oh my glove. Naging super sacrifice na lang para lang ma-distract ang execution, pero mukhang hindi mangyayari yun, TTC, dahil makatuloy pa rin ang Lord Dance natin. Heat right now. There you go, may ma-ejector siya. Pumasok mo lang si Kurt dito. The Uranus, but the Lord will go in the hands of the King. Kelra, papasok na naman. There you have it. Hajizi Polado, at mukhang tapos na. TTC ang laban. Heat na palaban pa. But then again, Kurt, can he manage to survive this? Mukhang hindi.
At ang sakit talaga ng damage dito ng Execration. 4-for-2 exchange. Nakita natin yung fight dito. Again, with the real world manipulation plus the ultimate here from KelVJ. Huling-huli ka agad. Tinanggal agad nila si Heat out of the picture. At dun sila naging confident na okay, sige, atin to. Walang unstoppable force, walang ejector. Makakagalaw agad si Kelra. And also with the mobility na binibigay dito ni Chaknu, mas mabilis mag-reposition dito yung Execration. And that's, I think, the reason why they won that fight.
At mukhang it's game. TTZ, it is Execration with a 2-0 debut dito sa MPL Season 7.
Wow, tol, Execration sobrang init. 2-0 sa Omega. At
hindi ganun kadali patumbahin
hindi ganun kadali
ang Omega. Your M2 representatives. But then again, men, new faces para sa Exe, KelVJ and Kelra. Hindi ko kinakaya, Kuya TDZ, yung excitement and of course that winning moment is brought to us by Head and Shoulders. Put your game face on and finally say goodbye to those awkward hashtag itch a GG moments. Thanks to Head and Shoulders, 100% dandruff-free and itch-free. Now, mas mabango pa. Wow!
Tol, kasing bango ng Head and Shoulders ang nangyari. At tingin ko talagang cool na cool din ang feeling dito ng Execration after that 2-0 win against Omega. 3 points yun, Tol.
Yeah, 3 points kagad. And you know what? Last night, nung nakita natin yung news, nagulantang tayo, pare. Pero wow, Execration with the movements. DDZ, maraming salamat para doon sa game 1 na yon. Again, guys, alamin pa natin. I-dissect natin yung laban na yon. Pasa natin ngayon sa analyst natin.
Thank you so much, casters, and napakaganda ng performance na pinakita ni KLBJ and the gang as they secure their first 2-0. Napakaganda impression nila to against all the teams. Welcome back to the Analyst Desk. My name is Midnight, and we break down natin kung paano ba nakuha ng Execration itong napakagandang game ito against Omega. Now, the first thing that we have to take note of is the link of KLBJ. Having no deaths on his performance really shows a lot as he knows what the conditions are for Execration this game. No? Alam niya na ang kailangan niya lang naman gawin dito is survive the early game onslaught of the Jawhead and Eudora of Omega. It's a combo that we've known for quite a while now. It's one of the most destructive early game combos of the tank support, and Omega didn't really have the chance or didn't get the opportunity to abuse that against Execration kasi iniiwasan lang sila, hindi sila nilalabanan, and they played the resource game like what they did on game number 1. And the following post-game statistics are brought to you by Smart, the official tournament telco partner of MPL. Feel free to game great with Smart free games for all. Ito, yung mga stats and yung mga items ng ating mga players for that specific game. I really want to highlight one important aspect of the itemization here of the players. Now, you're gonna see that on KLBJ, actually, the king. Si Ling dito, after building up the Demon Hunter Sword and the Endless Battle, went straight for the Malefic Roar and threatened the base of Omega. This allows multiple options. Number one, it provides a huge amount of damage, and it provides 40% physical penetration as well, plus 20% to tower. So Omega, even though they are very, very tanky with the Jawhead and the Uranus, all he needs to do is take out the Yisunshin and the Hayabusa. Yan lang naman yung mga priority targets ng Execration. Now, Hadizi bought a Wind of Nature after the Endless Battle and the Blade of Despair, pero it was all for naught as the Alice went on to dominate the late game as well alongside the Ling, and that is what made the game easier for Execration. Itemizations are very, very key for these heroes. Now, following post-game, the highlights are brought to you by Smart, official tournament telco partner of MPL. Feel free to game great with Smart. Free games for all. Makikita natin yung mga key points or yung mga turning moments dito for Execration. Again, we have to keep in mind that Omega, they have secured themselves the Jawhead and Eudora, pero Execration, with their moves, with their fantastic decisions and map movements, naiwasan nila yung early game threat ng Omega dito. Again, these following highlights are brought to you by Head and Shoulder. Put your game face on and finally say goodbye to those awkward hashtag itch-a-GG moments thanks to Head and Shoulder. 100% dander-free and itch-free. Now, mas mabango pa. And ito yung mga mababangong moments for Execration on that specific game. Again, Omega, they really had the advantage on the early game heroes as they had the Jawhead and Eudora. They can threaten objectives earlier on. Makikita natin dito sa first turtle fight natin, Omega was really looking really great as the box was established by the Jawhead and Eudora. But counterpart is the Eve was able to establish his own territory. If you haven't used Eve yet, it's a very strong hero that can contest objectives from your enemies. Kasi with his ultimate, you can threaten out-positioned heroes. And such as on that turtle fight, they found themselves in a very, very, very good position. Even though Omega sila pa rin nakakuha ng turtle. But that is to be expected. They have the early game lineup. But they don't have enough damage yet to dominate Execration. Kaya pagdating ng mid-game, kinakaya silang labanan ng Mathilda and ng Alice kasi hindi pa rin talaga sapat yung damage output nila against the sustain of the Matilda and Kelra. Now, fantastic initiations by Jackno actually on the Matilda, waiting for the dash of the Yisunshin first before committing with Kelra alongside him. Napakagandang mga pasok dito from the Matilda and the gang. And of course, establish once again the ultimate of Eve. It allows Execration to dominate a certain area or dominate a place wherein Omega cannot really fight. And that allows KLBJ to look for other targets on the back line. being the Ling, being one of the best assassins in the game, you can look for any outpositioned enemy heroes outside the box that has been already established by the Eve. Makikita nyo rito multiple times, they have been consistently getting pickoffs against Omega. That is why Hajizi, even though he was very, very defensive with his playstyle, he gathered 2 deaths around 14-minute mark, something that the KDA machine doesn't really do in terms of his gameplay with the Shin. Kasi sobrang playsip ni Haji but with this kind of lineup, napakahirap talaga maglaro ng Yisun Shin kasi nai-establish yung box ng kalaban mo and may Ling pa na pwedeng lumabas ng box. So kumbaga isipin nyo, dalawang cellphone yung teritoryo ng Execration pagdating sa teamfights. And after all that, it was just the late game prowess of the Alice and the Ling. The amounts of damage and the amounts of sustain are there for Execration, and Omega have to bow out against Execration. 2-0 clean score for the gang. That's gonna gather them 3 points. Pero kailangan natin koronahan ang ating MVP. This MVP is brought to you by Smart, the official tournament telco partner of MPL. Break through your own limits, rise above, and be free to game great with free games for all. I'm pretty sure kilala pa rin natin yung magiging MVP natin dito. No? Although napakaraming options sa side ng Execration as they did fantastically well. Napakaraming highlight plays nitong mga players ito. But we have to crown one specific MVP. We're gonna show you in just a bit. There you go. The King, Kel VJ on the Ling. KDA of 807. Net worth of 11,127, damage dealt 65,231, and objective damage of 10,978. If you look at the stats, no, sobrang balanced out. The KDA is good, the net worth is overall good, damage dealt is really, really high, specifically when your main job is just to farm and you're alongside an Alice that primarily deals the damage for your team, but KLBJ didn't really let go of the pedal as he knew that he had the advantage moving on to the late game. And that is Execration taking 2-0 against Omega. Now, we are going to be waiting for the next match, but I'm really excited for future games here in MPL. Casters, back to you.
Napakaraming salamat sa napakagandang analysis. Midnight. TDZ, ang masasabi ko lang, what a way to start off the season.
Tol, ibang klase. Kasi kanina, pinag-usapan natin na bago mag-start yung laro, makakakita tayo ng mga kakaibang draft, mga kakaibang playstyle. Sinurpresa tayo ng Omega with that 4-mage composition.
Yeah.
And also with the Yuzong on top of that from Game 1. Tingin ko gana siya eh. Okay siyang gumana. Kaso, hindi lang na-counter siya kagad ng last 2 picks dito ng Execration. But let's see kung mag-workout din ba yun sooner or later. And with that Game 2, I was really surprised, Tol. Yung Matilda.
Wow, we're all surprised. We're all surprised. But then again, before anything else, MPL Philippines Season 7 is presented by our official tournament telco partner, Smart. Free to game great with Smart. Free games for all. Bago ang mga nakita natin with that game, bagong season, bagong history. Ako po pala si Manjun Paldas at eto si TDZ. Huwag kayong aalis, guys. Nako, ang next match natin, pare, it's going to be Work Osterforce, their debut versus
Aura PH.
Wow, napakainit yan. Ladies and gentlemen, maraming pong salamat. Huwag kayong aalis dahil magbabalik ang MPL Season 7.
Welcome to the Giga Life. Your passions, your stories, your life. Simplified with just one app. This is the future. The Giga Life in just one tap. Experience more Giga moments when you make the smart choice. With the Philippines' fastest mobile data network. How do I know it's T1? Simple, smart ako.
Moment na sana, pero hassle ang kati. Yung kati na yan, dahil sa dandruff yan. You need Head & Shoulders. Unlike beauty shampoos, tanggal ang dandruff that causes kati. No more hassle sa moment. Goodbye na sa kati, dahil 100% dandruff.
When you look inside a JanSport backpack, you see a story that started in 1967. Since then, our mission has expanded to helping protect our environment for future generations to enjoy. It's a work in progress, But just this season, we've used the equivalent of 13 million bottles worth of recycled polyester in our most popular backpacks. When you look inside a JanSport pack, you see our commitment to this brilliant blue planet we call home. And we're just getting started.
Hi everyone, this is Catherine Bernardo.
At ako naman po si Daniel Padilla. Guys, may PayMaya na ba kayo?
Kung wala pa, dapat mag-download na kayo sa Google Play or App Store dahil ito na ang pusong pangbayad nyo.
Ang PayMaya is a mobile payment app using only your cell phone and you can pay practically anything kahit online transactions.
With PayMaya, hindi mo na kailangan magdala ng cash for your day-to-day expenses. Pwede kang magbayad ng bills, bumili ng prepaid load, mag-online shopping, mag-send money, magbayad gamit ng QR code, at marami pang iba.
Pero ang the best part dito ay may balik-bayad.
Each time you use PayMaya, may balik sa'yo na cashback at rewards, kaya sulit ng oras mo dahil hindi mo na kailangan pumila, and you can just pay using the app anytime, anywhere.
Kaya guys, huwag kakalimutan, pag may babayaran ka,
Don't pay cash, pay Maya.
Hey guys, I'm here with Kate and Bea.
Bad timing ang kate. Baka dandruff yan? Use Head and Shoulders every day. Unlike beauty shampoos, tanggal ang dandruff that causes kate. Para di pa balik-balik, kati gone for good na. Dahil 100% dandruff-free ka.
Hi guys, I'm here with Kate.
Para araw-araw, close na close. Max pinabango pa.
What do you do when what you desire is beyond reach?
You use power that breaks barriers. The Giga Life.
Now in 5G.
Do you believe this is possible?
I do.
How do you know?
Simple, smart, Acro.
Express, your online business. Express, your online business.
Welcome to the Giga Life. Your passions, your stories, your life. Simplified with just one app. This is the future. The Giga Life in just one tap. Experience more Giga moments when you make the smart choice. With the Philippines' fastest mobile data network. How do I know it's the one? Simple, smart, Ako.
Moment na sana, pero hassle ang kate. Yung kate na yan, dahil sa dandruff yan. You need Head and Shoulders. Unlike beauty shampoos, tanggal ang dandruff that causes kate. No more hassle sa moment. Goodbye na sa kate dahil 100% dandruff.
When you look inside a JanSport backpack, you see a story that started in 1967. Since then, our mission has expanded to helping protect our environment for future generations to enjoy. It's a work in progress, but just this season we've used the equivalent of 13 million bottles worth of recycled polyester in our most popular backpacks. When you look inside a JanSport pack, you see our commitment to this brilliant blue planet we call home. And we're just getting started.
Hi everyone, this is Catherine Bernardo.
At ako naman po si Daniel Padilla. Guys, may PayMaya na ba kayo?
Kung wala pa, dapat mag-download na kayo sa Google Play or App Store dahil ito na ang kusong pangbayad niyo.
Ang PayMaya is isang mobile payment app using only your cell phone and you can pay practically anything, kahit online transactions pa yan.
With PayMaya, hindi mo na kailangan magdala ng cash for your day-to-day expenses. Pwede kang magbayad ng bills, bumili ng prepaid load, mag-online shopping, mag-send money, magbayad gamit ng QR code at marami pang iba.
Pero ang the best part dito ay may balik-bayad ka pa.
Each time you use PayMaya, may balik sa'yo na cashback at rewards, kaya sulit ang oras mo dahil hindi mo na kailangan pumila and you can just pay using the app anytime, anywhere.
Kaya guys, huwag kakalimutan, pag may babayaran ka,
Don't pay cash, pay Maya.
Hey guys, I'm here with Kate and Bea.
Bad timing ang kate. Baka dandruff yan? Use Head and Shoulders every day. Unlike beauty shampoos, tanggal ang dandruff that causes kate. Para di babalik-balik, katigan for good na. Dahil 100% dandruff-free ka.
Hi guys, I'm here with Kate.
Para araw-araw, close na close. Max pinabango pa.
What do you do when what you desire is beyond reach?
You use power that breaks barriers. The Giga Life.
Now in 5G.
Do you believe this is possible?
I do.
How do you know?
Simple, smart, Acro.
Express your online business. Express your online business.
Welcome to the Giga Life. Your passions, your stories, your life. Simplified with just one app. This is the future. The Giga Life in just one pack. Experience more Giga moments when you make the smart choice. With the Philippines' fastest mobile data network. How do I know it's T1? Simple, smart ako.
Patuloy ang aksyon sa MPL Philippines Season 7. Ako po si Mara Aquino. MPL Philippines Season 7 is presented by Smart, the official tournament telco partner of the MPL. Feel free to game great with Smart Free Games. Ngayon naman mga kapatid, pwede nyo itong Smart Free Games for All. Meron din tayong mythical raffle draw. Ito yung inaabangan ko na ma-reward ng ating mga manonood syempre sa inyong participation. So napaka-exciting ng ating mythical raffle draw. All you have to do is scan yung QR code na nakikita nyo sa TV. Pag in-scan yan, mapupunta kayo sa isang site na merong mga tanong. 4 na tanong yan for this week and the 10 winners for that contest will get to have epic skin, diamonds. So kung sa tingin nyo, alam nyo lahat ng mga nagaganap dito sa Mobile Legends BangBang, yung mga heroes, yung mga teams and players, subukan ang inyong galing doon at baka kayo ang manalo ng mga papremyo, skins, diamonds, pwede nyo gamitin yan. At eto, hindi lang yan ang gusto namin ibigay para sa ating mga manonood, meron din tayong lucky number draw. So yung mga ID nyo sa Mobile Legends, kapag tugma yun sa mga numero, yung last 2 digits, kapag tugma yan, pwede kayong manalo ng mga papremyo. Ang last 2 digits, if your number ends with 09, 04, or 00, pwede kayong manalo ng mga in-game prizes natin. All you have to do is scan yung QR code na yan, fill up the form, kapag kayo ang mga first 3,000, congratulations sa inyo, marami kayong makukuha para dyan. Eto na, mga manonood dito, meron tayong isa pang laban na talagang inaabangan ng mga tao. Work Oster Force versus Aura PH. Pag-usapan natin yung kasama ang ating mahusay na casters, Manjin Valdez and Leo. Manjin, Leo, first day, how was it so far?
Intense kagad para sa akin yung first day, bagong set, bago lahat. And, well, total, lagi tayong hype kapag laging day 1 pag MPL eh. Oo. Actually, natuwa ako na ganun yung kinalabasan ng Game 1. Nakakita tayo kagad ng glimpse ng mga pagbabago.
Ako, man, sasabihin ko lang disappointed ako. Kasi gusto ko 3 games. Gusto ko may bawi. Bitin. Okay? Pero agree ako, naninibago ako dito. Ang daming bago. Again, Mara, nice to have you on board.
Oh, thank you.
But, again, it's all for the fans and what an honor it is to be back in the MPL.
Yeah. Intense lahat. Ako, knowing MPL in Season 1, ang dami ng pinagbago, men. Para sa akin, proud na proud ako na nakita natin to ngayon. And napakalupit. Next game, excited din ako.
At ang hindi nagbabago, syempre, MPL Philippines Season 7 is presented by Smart, the official tournament telco partner of the MPL. Break through your own limits, rise above, and be free to game great with free games for all. Get 1 gig a day from Mobile Legends, Facebook Gaming, and more. Plus, free 1 gig a day for 7 days. Just dial star 123 pound or download the Giga Life app and choose free games. Ngayon, ang susunod na laban natin, grabe. Ito, Aura PH kontra Work Oster Force. Pero, i-welcome muna natin ang mga manlalaro ng Aura PH.
Your team is banning.
Manjin, Leo, yung mga ibang kupunan, maraming veterano, okay? Pero dito sa Aura, meron tayong mga roster changes. May mga pagbabago tayo dito. They traded their mainstay. Sa tingin niyo ba tamang formula ito?
Para sa akin, ang formula ngayon ng Aura ay talagang nakakatakot with having Benny Cutie and Lord Hades in. Hindi ko na ngayon malaman kung sino ba magiging main carry dito sa team ng Aura PH. I can therefore say, nung pagpunta ko sa mga kanya-kanyang bootcamp, na fortunate ako na nakilala ko sila, ang masasabi ko lang dito sa Aura PH, tinatapos nila yung sentences ng isa't isa. Ganoon yung bonding ng Aura PH dito. And the fact na hindi lang nakikita ngayon, pero nasa kanila yung tinatawag namin si Mr. Worldwide. Si Dale, nako, para bang mas lalo akong natakot sa Aura, kung iisipin eh.
Actually, if it comes down to Aura, we're gonna go into the numbers and the skill cap of these players. Feeling ko, they really missed out on Kiel, VJ, and Renzio. We just saw them in action previously. Diba? Ang lakas ng execution. So I feel like there's some gains and some losses for the side of Aura PH, especially looking at their stats from Season 6. No, tingnan natin dito, they finished 5th. After coming from a back-to-back championship, parang kulang ang Aura PH.
Yeah, actually gusto ko lang idagdag sa sinabi natin kanina. Parang sa sobrang ganda na naging formula dito ng Aura, para bang ngayon may part na pwede na silang malito kung anong formula yung susundin nila. Kaya nga siguro may jitter sila sa mga local tournaments.
Tingnan natin itong lineup ng Aura PH. Malakas ba? Sa tingin nyo ba? Ito talaga yung key players na talagang magpapabago ng kanilang kapalaran.
Mara, teka lang, napapa-shock kami ngayon ni Leo.
Kasi hindi maglalaro si Lord Hades. Hindi maglalaro si
Benny Cutie.
Si Benny Cutie na yung arguably rookie of the season ng Aura PH.
Wow!
Ang daming players na nagsabi sa liga na Benny Cutie is the future. Benny Cutie ang magiging parang pinaka-consistent newcomer para sa Aura PH.
Yeah, pag nagtatanong ka ngayon ng mga players na sinong ilalagay mo sa gold lane pag bubuo ka ng World Championship, ang sasabihin nila Benny Cutie. And the fact na ito nga, nabanggit nga natin, Leo, na yung Aura, ang dami na nilang formula. Siguro kung gusto nila na medyo agresibo, kung gusto nila na mga medyo safe play, pwede silang magbago-bago dahil meron silang 3 core eh.
Yeah.
May JP, may Hades, may Benny Cutie pa sila. Tapos, ngayon, I think, step up ngayon sa call the shots, si Grid, na nakita naman natin na mukhang exciting sa mga posing niya.
Excited ako para kay Raflesia. I like that Chan is playing again.
Na naman.
Sobrang importante nun.
And now, i-welcome natin at kilalanin ang bagong koponan, Work Oster Force. Oster Force, maraming mga bagong salang dito. Actually, si Chula ang familiar. Advantage ba ito para sa kanila?
I think so. Kasi at least nagkaroon sila dito ng isang player na may experience na sa MPL. And I think nabanggit natin sa mga meetings natin, I think maraming tao din na ito na yung pinaka-comfortable team ni Chu. Sa Season 5 na nandun siya, para bang ito yung pinaka na-activate talaga siya. At dahil doon, never silang natalo sa qualifiers.
This is everybody's measuring stick. Ito yung parang pruweba ng tao na bakit malakas tong team na to. Why is Work Oster Force a team to be reckoned with? Why do they belong in the MPL? I need to check back on history, but never in the history of open qualifiers has there been a team na parang, men, panoorin mo to. Promise, on mo yung stream, panoorin mo.
Panoorin mo yung qualifiers nila.
Parang MPL na to.
Yeah, and ito pa, dagdag lang kay Chu, never siyang namatay nung qualifiers. Never siyang nagkaroon ng deaths as Claude. Pero, nagtatalo pa nga kami nung nakausap ko siya. Sabi ko, hindi ba nagkaroon ka ng death nung nag-asim ka lang? Pero sinabi niya, hindi talaga ako nagkaroon. And doon pa lang mapapatunayan ko na naging confident si Chu ngayon with his team na para sa akin, magkakapatid ang turing. Leo.
Yep, the main lineup here, Mara, these young men.
Mga bagong mukha. Talagang making a name for themselves this season. Sino sa kanila talaga nakita nyo nung open qualifiers na na-impress kayo?
Honestly, sa akin lahat eh. Kasi may teamwork talaga sila dito. Honestly, bilang isang core na din, may elib ka sa pagiging core talaga ni Chu dito. And kung paano siya na-activate dito, ni na RTZ at ni na Unravel. Which is, I think, sila nagpalit-palit pa siya ng pangalan eh.
Yeah.
Parang tinatawag nga nating Michael Jordan.
Si RTZ. Oh, tapos ang gusto ko dito, si FY, si Unravel.
Si Unravel.
Yeah.
Oh. Actually, Leo, ang gusto ko dito sa side ng teamwork is sila yung naging main scream partners ng World Champions natin.
World
So,
Challenger.
I think nakatulong yon yung World Challenger para lumakas sila ng ganito.
Etong work versus aura. This head-to-head is brought to you by Oppo. A9 for experience gaming at full speed with Oppo A9 IV. Available starting March 26 in Oppo concept stores, retail partners, and e-com platforms. Etong dalawang koponan na to, ang work, gusto nilang patunayan na hindi tsamba ang pinakita nila ng open qualifiers. Sa panig naman ng aura, gusto nilang i-reclaim yung past glory. Eto, may tanong ako sa inyong dalawa ha. Sabi ng marami, etong work, para daw silang Onyx nung season 4. How true is that?
Siguro masasabi yun ng mga tao na parang Onyx kasi nung pumasok din yung Onyx nung pumasok sila season 4 ay tinitignan sila na wow, ang lakas. Baka talunin nila sila lahat. I think isa pa sa mga nagiging bulong sa labas is that qualifiers lang yan. Ngayon dito matitest ang Work Oster Force kung tatamaan ba sila ng jitters, tatamaan ba sila ng kaba na ang kalaban nila ngayon naging 2-time champion na.
Medyo poetic, no? Kung maalala natin, Aura PH, once Sun Sparks, yun, ang karibal ng Onyx PH. Nung pareho silang bago sa MPL Season 4, I think. Season 3 galing ang Sun Sparks noon. But right now, mukhang rite of passage para sa Work Oster Force.
Pwede. Actually, magandang start para sa Work Oster Force. Kasi nga, again, Aura is a team na in line with the top 5, top 4s. And kapag, if ever makaisa yung Aura dito, ang taas ng confidence boost nito para sa team na yan.
Makikilala natin ang coaches ng dalawang panig. Who will be the head and shoulders above the competition? Put your game face on and finally say goodbye to those awkward #It's a GG moment. Thanks to Head and Shoulders 100% dandruff-free and age-free. Now, mas mabango pa. Eto, ang coach natin sa Aura, meron tayong coach lift na may dalawang MPL titles. Hindi lang yan, kasama niya si Coach Dale. Sa panig naman ng work, meron tayong Coach Arcadia. Pinatunayan nila na, well, they're showing that they belong. Do you think it's an advantage ngayon sa Aura na meron silang dalawang coaches na experience dito?
I think so. And Mara, si Coach Arcadia ay mayroon ng dalawang championships na nagawa. Kilalang-kilala niya na si Rapisha, kilalang-kilala niya na yung sina JP, si Kiluwash, and I think with the help ng isang outside factor na nandun din si Coach Dale, which is also sa numbers na yon, I think on paper matatakot ka talaga, Leo.
Yeah, no, Arcadia is a very smart man. But on the other side, right, facing him off from the other corner, si Lift. Ito, si Lift. He's making his MPL debut in Season 7 as a coach. But a few people should know as well, galing siya sa kampo ng Archangel, our Season 3 champions. He spent a good amount of time there as a player, training as a coach.
Yeah, and to add, nung nakausap natin si Liv, ang sabi niya dito, napaka-importante nitong pagpasok ko dahil matagal na siya sa esports. Matagal niya nang pinapangarap to, kaya kitang-kita mo sa kanya yung hunger para makuha itong title.
Super mature. I spent the off-season talking to a lot of these coaches, and Arcadia, matagal na siya. Matagal na siya sa esports. He has 2 championships, as we mentioned. Pero si Liv, first time niya magiging coach sa MPL. Wow. And the things that are coming out of his mouth and kung paano niya i-address yung mga problema ng team or kung paano niya i-build up yung team, it's like he really belongs here.
It's gonna be interesting how the coaches will lead their team. At meron din tayong mga manlalaro na talagang nasa spotlight. And these featured players will do all they can para hindi pa GG. Bring your clay game with Master Sikreto ng mga guwapo. Eto, sa dalawang panig ng kupunan, meron tayong Chu and Lord Hades. Si Chu, 3rd straight appearance sa MPL. Si Lord Hades naman, bago lang sa Aura. Head-to-head, anong masasabi niya sa kanilang dalawa?
I can therefore say na itong dalawang players na to ay halos sabay din pumasok sa scene. I think Hades is also close with the NXT squad na sinabi nga sa akin ni H2O na kasabayan niya si Hades dito. And nandito rin si Chu. Para sa akin dito, pareha silang play safe. Ngayon para sa akin, kailangan lang ma-activate ng dalawa yung killer instinct na tinatawag. I think yun ang pressure ngayon sa jungle role. But then again, basing sa mga local tournaments na nakita natin and basing sa performance, mas may killer instinct para sa akin this time si Chu.
Ayan, Leo, meron tayong lane prediction.
This is how it is. Like, Benny Cutie's not playing, so medyo ibahin natin yan ng konti. But at least for the side of Work Osterforce, this is what you can expect. RTZ in mid, Chu in the jungle, Unravel bilang tank, 3 RTZ and Kusei taking the side lanes. Marami nagsabi na ang Work Osterforce parang one-trick pony. Parang basic, di ba? Tapos ang liit pa ng hero pool. But I think, given a team like RPH, they're gonna have to be forced to step up. Baka may bago silang ilabas. That's what we're looking for.
Eto na! Work Osterforce kontra Aura PH. They're armed! They are ready. Simulan natin bakbakan at samahan na natin ang ating anchor and analyst.
Aura PH, isang team na gustong kunin yung kanilang former glory sa past seasons. Work Osterforce, isang team na gusto naman patunayan na sila ay nabibilang dito sa MPLPH Season 7. We are going to be your casters. I am Butters, your anchor. Kasama ko ngayon si Wolf, ang inyong analyst. Wolf, kamusta?
I am so excited about this. Kanina pa ako nanggigigil mag-cast and I'm finally here. We're excited to bring you the action for this wonderful series kasi isang veteranong team na may gustong patunayan samantalang kalaban nila isang team naman na ang gusto nila sabihin ay dito kami, belong kami dito.
Belong na belong kami dito. Pero syempre, bago tayo manggigil ng todo, the MPLPH Season 7 is presented by Smart or official tournament telco partner, free to game great with Smart free games for all. Now, Wolf, looking at it, ang daming binigay dito ni Mara, ni Manjin at ni Leo. Ang daming stats, ang daming factors. What do you think about that?
Una sa lahat ay sinabi ni Manjin na bilang isang core player ay naintindihan daw niya si Chu. Yun ang siguro question mark doon. But apart from that, I totally agree with what they say. For example, Aura PH, they were talking about the importance of Benny Cutie. I myself, nagulat din ako na baka hindi maglaro si Benny Cutie or at least yun yung unang pinakita. I'm not entirely sure because I think Aura PH, lalong-lalo na nung off-season, bago MPL Season 7, ay napaka-successful with Benny Cutie in. So yun medyo na nagpinagtataka ko. Samantala, Work Osterforce naman, na-mention nila about hero pool. I'm sure na pinaghandaan nila yan sa Work Osterforce. But key to victory ng Work Osterforce brings something different para sa MPL Season 7.
Alam mo, going back to Work Osterforce dito gusto ko lang malaman yung side mo kasi nakita naman natin dun sa graphic na pinakita kanina na sobrang smooth safe fire nila. Hindi sila masyado naglabas ng hero. Do you think that is an advantage for them?
Okay, so that is definitely an advantage for them. Pag inisip natin na pag sa league and for Work Osterforce, ang kagandahan is pag binigay mo sa kanilang hero na gusto nila, sobrang eksperto naman nila nun. Hindi lang sa macro, pati rin sa micro.
Okay, so MPLPH Season 7 is presented by Smart, the official tournament telco partner of the MPL. Free to game great with Smart free games for all. Ang tindi ng bigayan dito, Wolf, kasi talagang MPL Season 7, think about it. Season 1, nandito na tayo pareho. It's been a long time, ladies and gentlemen. Si Manji, nasabi niya din to kanina. Looking at how we progressed, looking at how we evolved, in-expect mo ba yung ganitong katindi?
No, dumating tayo sa point, man, na pinifeature na natin mismo yung coaches. Last season, ang taas ng emphasis natin sa mga coaches at coaching staff ngayon. Even yung secondary, mga analysts. May mga casters at may mga nagpo-post din sa social media na ito na yata yung season na i-feature natin yung dual, alam mo yun, may hindi lang isang coach, meron pa mga analysts. Kasi nga, lumalaki na ang bawat, every single season. Like for example, Aura PH, when they started, nag-back-to-back sila si RKJ yun, tapos tinalo sila ng isang team na sobrang lupit, tapos Bren na yung biglang champion. Everybody wants to be better than the previous champions. Diba? Parang palakas lang ng palakas. Ano yung dinadagdag? Bren Esports, dinagdagan nila ng malupit na facilities. Kumuha sila ng coach na parang pinauwi nila yung import natin na si Ducky para kunin sa kanilang side at makabuo ng isang team. Ngayon yung teams naman like Work Oster Force, the organization, pinag-combine nila yung mga malulupit sa amateur leagues. Tapos, tinry nilang pumunta sa qualifiers. Yun pala, sobrang tindi na pala nila because of a recipe na they thought that can work and actually worked. So, to answer your question, hindi ko in-expect na ganito kalaki. Ang daming naisip ng mga teams para lang makapasok sa MPL.
Alam mo, patagal yung mga seasons natin dito. Ine-expect ko na lalaki siya pero hindi ganito kabilis. And ginulat tayo na MPL Season 7 ngayon kasi with the inclusion pa na nasa atin ang World Championship ng M2, lahat gusto mag-step up, lahat gusto itaas yung tropeo na yan. Pero tatandaan nyo, bago nila magawa yan, kailangan muna ipakita nila yung kanilang galing dito sa sarili-sarili nilang MPL.
You know what's funny, Butters?
Ano?
Yung dami ko na-meet sa amin, sa mga barangay na para sabi na gusto ko maging Bren Esports. And actually, pagka-uwi natin mula sa Singapore, casting for the M2 World Championship, yung balita umingay about sa champion yung Pinoy sa Mobile Legends. At ang dami kong mga matatanda rin na nakakausap na parang ito na pala yung future. At yung mga bata naman, gusto nilang maging champion, gusto nilang maging Bren Esports. Now, it also translated sa mga players naman. I was able to talk to some of the players at sabi nila gusto din nilang mag-champion for the Philippines. And they can say na kaya naman kaya makipagsabayan So I think that Bren Esports being the championship team sa M2 World Championship, tapos i-translate natin sa mga players dito sa MPL PH Season 7, yun yata yung goal talaga, maging champion din.
Motivation, inspiration, yun yung ginawa ng Bren Esports. But remember guys, this is the next chapter. Ito yung sunod na kabanata doon sa nangyaring World Championship win natin. And right now, things are going to get heated up. Siyempre, nandito na yung work na talagang in-acknowledge ng Bren Esports. Alam mo, pinagtahi ko lang yun
Sakto.
Itong work na to, talagang in-acknowledge nila ng Bren Esports. Sinabi nila all throughout the interviews na tinitignan nila yung work as a threat in terms of being in the MPL Season 7 or being the best, the top dogs of the MPL Season 7 PH. Ngayon naman, dun tayo sa previous top dogs naman. Itong Aura PH. Aura PH, they found themselves sa isang slump nung playoffs. Ang ganda din naman ng performance nila nung regular season ng MPLS6. Pero, nung pinakadulo na, nakatapat nila yung Onyx sa isang unfamiliar territory, which is the quarterfinals.
The first round of the playoffs.
The first round of the playoffs. Doon sila nagkita and na 3-0 sila ng Onyx. So, for Aura PH, ano nga ba yung gusto nilang gawin dito papasok ng MPL Season 7?
Una sa lahat is rebuild. Now, bago yung kanilang very questionable call for sure. Kasi imagine this, binigyan ka ni Kel VJ at ni Renjo ng 2 championships. Now, isang slump and you let them go. For loyalist perspective, nakakapagtaka yun. But then again, we will not question the decision of Aura PH. Baka naman kasi may nangyayari inside, that's why they let go of KLVJ. But, to answer your question, ang gusto nilang gawin ay kumuha ng mag-rebuild. I think na siguro nga dahil monotonous yung pag-back-to-back championship nila, parang parehas lang din yung nangyari, Onyx din yung kanilang nakatapat, kaya siguro sila nanibago noong MPL Season 6. So what they did is to bring us something new, which came from Lord Hades and now Benny Cutie, rising star dito sa Aura PH, and it might be for the better.
It might be for the better, but ladies and gentlemen, we will be heading into a very short break. Huwag kayong aalis, magbabalik ang MPLPH Season 7.
Welcome to the Giga Life. Your passions, your stories, your life. Simplified with just one app. This is the future. The Giga Life in just one tap. Experience more Giga moments when you make the smart choice. With the Philippines' fastest mobile data network. How do I know it's T1? Simple, smart ako.
moment na sana, pero hassle ang kate. Yung kate na yan, dahil sa dandruff yan. You need Head and Shoulders. Unlike beauty shampoos, tanggal ang dandruff that causes kate. No more hassle sa moment. Goodbye na sa kate, dahil 100% dandruff.
When you look inside a JanSport backpack, you see a story that started in 1967. Since then, our mission has expanded to helping protect our environment for future generations to enjoy. It's a work in progress, but just this season we've used the equivalent of 13 million bottles worth of recycled polyester in our most popular backpacks. When you look inside a JanSport pack, you see our commitment to this brilliant blue planet we call home. And we're just getting started.
Hi everyone, this is Catherine Bernardo.
At ako naman po si Daniel Padilla. Guys, may PayMaya na ba kayo?
Kung wala pa, dapat mag-download na kayo sa Google Play or App Store dahil ito na ang usong pangkayat nyo.
Ang PayMaya is a mobile payment app using only your cell phone and you can pay practically anything kahit online transactions pa yan.
With PayMaya, hindi mo na kailangan magdala ng cash for your day-to-day expenses. Pwede kang magbayad ng bills, bumili ng prepaid load, mag-online shopping, mag-send money, magbayad gamit ng QR code, at marami pang iba.
Pero ang the best part dito ay may balik-bayad ka pa.
Each time you use PayMaya, may balik sa'yo na cashback at rewards, kaya sulit ang oras mo dahil hindi mo na kailangan pumila, and you can just pay using the app anytime, anywhere.
Kaya guys, huwag kakalimutan. Pag may babayaran ka,
Don't pay cash, pay Maya.
Hi guys, I'm here with Kate and Bea.
Bad timing ang kate. Baka dandruff yan. Use Head and Shoulders every day. Unlike beauty shampoos, tanggal ang dandruff that causes kate. Para di ba balik-balik, katigan for good na. Dahil 100% dandruff-free ka.
Hi guys, I'm here with Kate.
Para araw-araw, close na close. Max pinabango pa.
What do you do when what you desire is beyond reach?
You use power that breaks barriers. The Giga Life.
Now in 5G.
Do you believe this is possible?
I do.
How do you know?
Simple, smart, acro.
Inevitable. Express your online business. Express your online business.
Welcome to the Giga Life. Your passions, your stories, your life. Simplified with just one app. This is the future. The Giga Life in just one pack. Experience more Giga moments when you make the smart choice with the Philippines' fastest mobile data network. How do I know it's T1? Simple, smart ako.
Moment na sana, pero hassle ang kati. Yung kati na yan, dahil sa dandruff yan. You need Head and Shoulders. Unlike beauty shampoos, tanggal ang dandruff that causes kati. No more hassle sa moment. Goodbye na sa kati, dahil 100% dandruff.
When you look inside a JanSport backpack, you see a story that started in 1967. Since then, our mission has expanded to helping protect our environment for future generations to enjoy. It's a work in progress, but just this season we've used the equivalent of 13 million bottles worth of recycled polyester in our most popular backpacks. When you look inside a JanSport pack, you see our commitment to this brilliant blue planet we call home. And we're just getting started.
Welcome back sa Tagalog Casting Desk, ladies and gentlemen. Kami pa rin ang iyong mga kasama. Ako si Butters, ang iyong anchor, and si Wolf, ang magiging analyst ninyo for this series. And syempre, bago tayo mag-usap ulit, Wolf, about this amazing game, or amazing series rather, tatandaan natin na MPLPH Season 7 is presented by Smart, our official tournament telco partner. Free to game great with Smart free games for all. Wolf, coming back from that break, tatandaan natin na malapit na ang draft. And tatandaan natin din na this is still Aura PH versus Work Osterforce.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tall task para sa Work Osterforce dahil ang tindi na kanilang drafting yung kalaban nila sa draft. Dahil merong Dale at meron na ring Arcadia. It's gonna be difficult for sure.
It's gonna be very difficult, but tatandaan natin, kailangan natin malaman kung sino ang gagawa ng smart choice. Catch it next, brought to you by Smart, free to game great with Smart free games for all. Drafting phase na, guys. And inaantay na lang natin dito yung screen natin. But before that, let's talk about the teams more. Aura PH, Arcadia. Looking at the coaching staff nitong team na to, meron tayong Arcadia na proven and tested na kapag kailangan niya maging crazy with his drafts, ay gagawin niya. Ngayon naman si Dale, isa mga pinaka-technical by the textbook na coach, nagsama sa isang team. Do you think it's a balance?
It is definitely a balance.
Do you think na may away na mangyayari dito?
Siguro, eventually magkaroon sila ng away. But I love the fact that maganda yun. Magandang away yung mangyayari. Kasi imagine this, meron kang isang creative na utak, courtesy of Coach Arcadia. And then you have Dale, some very fundamental. Hindi lang yan. Imagine mo yung training ng Aura PH. Merong nag-control sa kanila, tapos merong nag-unleash sa kanila. It's just a good mixture. And nung una kong nalaman na ang Aura PH ay kinuha si Coach Dale, sobrang na-amaze ako. It all came together. Napakaganda. I love the first ban of Aura PH. Iba ng Pakito, wag mo nang bigyan ng comfort picks agad ang Work Osterforce. I think ang emphasis ng Aura PH ngayon ay either iban or kunin yung Pakito, Alice, and Esmeralda laban sa Work Osterforce.
And as we all know, Work Osterforce, they've played, naglaro sila, ladies and gentlemen, doon sa, sabihin natin qualifiers, na selected lang yung heroes na nilabas nila. And this might be the time na kailangan talaga nila maglabas ng mga matitinding pick dito sa regular season. Aura PH, banning out the Alice, and as you've said, tama ang iyong prediction.
Yeah, this is a comfort pick ng Work Osterforce. For sure ay hindi dapat yan ibigay ng Aura PH. And mind you, hindi lang naman ito ang unang beses na nagkaroon ng maglalaban ng Aura PH at Work Osterforce. In fact, yung Work Osterforce, minsan nanalo sila sa Aura, minsan naman sila ay natatalo. So this is not new for both teams. Ngayon, ang Aura PH, knowing that Work Osterforce and nag-cooperate sila with this very farm-heavy side lane composition, courtesy of their wonderful player Kose, hindi mo na lang din siya bibigyan ng comfort pick. Even when Alice is not banned first, kailangan mong iban yan laban sa Work Osterforce.
Work Osterforce here, banning out Natalia. Ayaw nilang mabigyan ng problema dito si Chu. And as we all know, Workcaster Force, they really like to pick Claude din.
Yeah. That's also true. Selena finalo up dito ng Aura PH as Workcaster Force, paborito din nilang gamitin itong Selena na to. I think RTZ, yung quote-unquote supporter, the mid laner for Workcaster Force, really loves this. At alam na gustong-gusto yan nilang gamitin. Yan, daming open. This means that Matilda might be open up para sa Aura PH, pero ibaba niya agad ng Workcaster Force. Yan ang tamang ginawa ng Workcaster Force. You don't wanna give the Matilda sa Aura PH.
First pick dito ng Aura PH, that means pwede silang kumuha dito ng isang hero na tingin nila ay talagang bagay na bagay sa kanila. A comfort hero if you will. And they can actually go for another meta hero dito. Sino pa ba ang mga open wolf?
I think pwede sila mag-consider something along the lines of nasa Brody Benedetta, but according to what we can hear, it might be Sylvana.
It is going to be a Sylvana. And sabihin na lang natin isa sa mga pinaka-consistent na tanks.
Yeah.
Noong nakaraang MP World Championship, Wolf.
Butters, may na-mention tayo kanina and sa panel din about Benny QT not playing. At nakikita ko ngayon mukhang siya ang sinalang. So again, Benny QT is one of the most important players for Aura PH. Instead of Lord Hades, JP ang makikita natin yan sa Aura.
Ang taas ng priority dito ng Aura PH para sa isang Sylvana. To the point na i-give up pa nila itong Cho at ang Esmeralda. Natandaan natin, Aura PH, dalawang magaling na Cho player ang meron sila dito. Meron silang Benny QT, meron silang Kilowash. Depende na lang kung sino yung gagamit sa kanila yan.
I think you wanna go Claude this time para sa Aura PH, but Bane! Oh, Bane and Eve. Ang mga bagong mga additions. Of course, Eve bago dito sa ating meta because she is literally the newest hero. Hindi pala, may Bellatrix na pala. Second newest. Kakalabas lang kanina. Second newest, you have Eve na pwede na rin gamitin ngayon sa dating liga. Ang ganda ng wave clear, ganda ng poke. Ngayon yung Bane naman, recently ay na-buff. If you don't know, yung kanyang second skill and kanyang first skill in combination, pwede sila mag-physical and magical build at napakataas ng poke potential at napakalakas ng AoE damage. Na ang ganda rin ng kanyang ultimate, of course, isa to sa mga counter, sa mga hero na makukulit. Alam mo yung gustong pumasok? Like Esmeralda and Chong, for example, maharit. Kasi bago pa sila makarating, ay mapipigilan sila. Look at this! A Diggy picked up by Workcaster Force.
Pinipigilan na ng Workcaster Force dito yung potential ng Aura PH sa pag-lockdown ng mga heroes, sa mga heroes nila. Now, Aura PH, looking at it, ang dami nilang pang-isolate dito, ang dami nilang pang-zone out wolf.
Yeah.
Nandyan yung Shark Attack, andyan yung Imperial Justice, andyan din si Eve na walking zoning hero
So, literally, napakahirap niyang kumilos. But, yung Diggy, obviously, ang Workcaster Force mo, ang gusto nilang kumuha ng isang hero na sa juggling position ay ayaw magulo. In fairness with Aura PH, yung Eve and Sylvana, sobrang lakas pumatay nitong combo na to. Imagine this, yung ultimate ng Sylvana, tapos meron kang Eve, so much magic damage out there. Magandang combo kasi yan. So, in the mid-game, kailangan mag-ingat ng Workcaster Force. That's why they were, ang kanilang pinili ay isang Diggy para at least makatulong sa pag-jungle nila. So, I'm thinking of something along the lines ng Claude, Hayabusa sa side ng Workcaster Force. Pati rin naman sa Aura PH, pwede rin nilang gamitin yung Claude laban si Esmeralda.
Alam mo, Wolf, ako personally nasasaktan ako ngayon kasi yung Benedetta, fourth ban.
Hindi na ganun.
Hindi na siya pinapakaya. Kasi alam mo naman, pagka tayo naglalaro, kung pwede
Benedetters!
Pipiliin natin yan. Pero sabi dito ng Aura PH, may Bane kami na iniisip Benedetta.
Pwede na. But anyway, no, kidding aside, Benedetta, dahil sa mga nerfs niya, most importantly pala, ay yung cooldown ng kanyang ultimate, pati na rin yung damage reduction. Kasi yung, pag kinomboy mo yung lahat ng nerfs na yun, ang tagal nang mag-clear ng Benedetta compared before. Well, actually, inisip mo nga dito, parang ito dapat talaga, ganito lang dapat talaga kalakas yung Benedetta. Yung nakaraan ay sobrang malakas, sobrang OP. But then again, there is gonna be the ban sa Benedetta. At ang Workcaster Force, sila naman nagban ng Lapu-Lapu. So, they're also looking for a good side laner na parang medyo greedy on the greedy side para hindi siya nakokontest ng Lapu-Lapu. I'm thinking something along the lines of 1-1.
Pwede. It is a possibility.
Or a Claude side lane.
Pwede na nila i-ban yung Blood dito if ever for the side of Aura PH, and they will ban out the Brody. Ayaw nila yung magic damage and strong poke potential coming out from that hero. And Work Oster Force, they go for their fourth pick. It's going to be a Kagura. And kung mapapasin mo dito, Wolf, yung utility na ginagawa ng Work Oster Force para sa team nila, ang taas ng range capability.
This is a reason pala kung bakit Lunox ang binan ng Work Oster Force and the other heroes. They will want to go for the Kagura. Ngayon, hindi, I'm pretty sure that this will reveal na parang fourth, it's a mid lane Kagura or support Kagura. Tapos yung ating Chu ay nasa side lanes na. So it's gonna be Cho, Esmeralda, or combination of side lanes ng Work Oster Force. Or pwede rin naman, this is crazy, pero pwede silang mag-Kagura side pa rin. Although, too much na yon na mage on the side lanes. They do have the Digi anyway, so okay naman. Then, i-reveal na rin nila na yung show nila ay magiging side lanes talaga. So, Aura PH, it's gonna be interesting. Thams and YSS.
Okay, itong mga heroes na to, parang Aura PH special to. Thams on Kilowash. Si JP will play the YSS. Work Oster Force here, going for a Bruno. And, alam mo Wolf, ang iniisip ko sa Work Oster Force dito, this is going to be a tank show. Tapos side lane nga itong Kagura. Yeah. Kasi meron tayong specific change na nangyari sa Clock of Destiny na kapag ka nakuha mo siya ng mas maaga, you can expect a better mid-game para sa'yo.
This is a very good draft coming out from Work Oster Force. Pero yung Aura PH, comfort naman para sa kanila. Yung kailangang ingatan ng Work Oster Force dito ay hindi mag-overtake ang Bane. Kailangan nilang pigilan yung Bane, which is actually hindi ganun kahirap. Medyo madaling pigilan ng Bane, pero pag nag-pop off ang Bane, napakalakas, ang hirap pigilan because of the damage output niya. Ngayon, ang nagustuhan kong decision mula sa Work Oster Force, they pick up Bruno, which is arguably the hero na slightly ay mas mabilis sa YSS. YSS kasi nakikita ko ngayon na pinakamabilis mag-jungle dahil hindi niya kailangan ng mana, sobrang lakas ng innate damage output niya. And ito yung throwback dun sa mga pinupost ko na indirect buffs sa YSS, which is mas malakas ka na mag-farm pag nag-pure jungler ka. Dahil dun sa 40% na yung makuha mong bonus sa jungle or sobrang bilis mo na. Simply put, sobrang bilis. Na ngayon, Bruno lang yung kayang in a way mas mabilis mag-jungle. Kasi mabilis talaga mag-jungle ng Bruno. So, ang ganda ng decision ng Work. Pabilisan na lang mag-farm to for both Work and Aura.
Let's see if that will be the case, as this is game number 1, ladies and gentlemen. And as you can see, Grill dito, nahuli ni RTZ. And I think that Kagura pick really works well against the Eve. Tatandaan natin, it's the same as Parsa. Yung Parsa, hinahabol lang ng payong ng isang Kagura.
I can see na yung pwestuhan dito ng mga supports ng Work Oster Force, which is the combination of the Digi and the Kagura. Medyo abante sila. Pero, ang gusto lang nilang gawin ay tignan kung nasan yung mga members ng Aura PH. Ano yan ang kailangan nilang gawin ay hintayin nila na magkamali ng pwesting Aura PH na saka sila lalaban. Kasi kung isipin, Digi and Kagura ang taas ng damage output but can also be easily taken down. Ngayon, taken down. Yung Aura PH naman, medyo slower pace when it comes to their supports dahil Eve to, kailangan mag-farm muna.
And as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, nagkakaroon ng bit of a push dito sa taas para sa Work Oster Force. Unravel dito, nahuli siya. And that will be the Mountain Shocker hitting Unravel. 50% HP na lang, na-stun pa siya dito. And Aura PH, pinipigilan talaga nila mag-TP back dito sa Sandigi.
Yeah. Yung Aura PH, mixture of tempos ang kanilang ginagawa. Bane, mas mabagal compared to Work, obviously, kasi may Cho and Esmeralda side lanes ng Work. Samantala yung Aura, it's Thams and Bane. Innately farmers. Pero yung YSS nila, medyo mabilis yung tempo. Work naman, kabaliktaran, all-in speed para sa Work. They want to go for the tempo control and this is what they're doing right now.
And look at Raflesia, you're getting caught out, ladies and gentlemen. Kosei dito, find a bit more than he can chew. And nahuli nga dito si YSS, JP dito. Siya ang unang tutumba. Walang retribution dito yung side ng Aura PH at pupunta kay Chu. Yung turtle buff, Unravel dito, trying to get away dun sa mga pating. Pero sabi ni RTZ dito, pipigilan kita ng onte and that is going to be a 1-for-1 trade for both teams.
At tinabi natin yung tempo control ng work Oster Force, which is much better than Aura dahil meron silang playmakers agad. Cho, pagkakuha ng level 4, very confident na. Esmeralda is also level 4, which in combination to their Bruno, it just means na sobrang bilis nila mag-take ng Turtle. Pagkadating ng second minute, which is the mark where the Turtle respawns, alam nila na kailangan nilang pumwesto lang doon. Using the Diggy's vision dun sa bombs, alam nila na hindi makakontest yung Aura. Even when there's a YSS Mountain Shocker, yung Aura page, ang hirap umabante dahil dun sa mga sa draft ng work Oster Force, which is tailored more on the early stages of the game.
Papasin mo dito, Aura PH, they're really pushing. Kailangan bantayan din nila yung taas nila dito as work. Talagang iniikutan nila dito si Kilowash.
Yeah. Using the fact na yung YSS naman ay maganda pang push because of the passive and innate damage output. Tingnan natin kung mabilis sila. Ang ganda ng depensa ng Eve. Look at that. Greed using the terrain. Ginamit niya para hindi siya makakontest or mahanap ng Kagura. But this is trouble for Aura.
But there is a fight. Kilowash dito. Pumasok na lang siya. And look at the tankiness ng isang Thamos. And he will just back off. Parang walang nangyari habang doon sa may baba na pick off dito si Benny Cutie.
Do take note, Butters, that Aura page, ang ganda ng kanilang adjustment. Ito yung gustong-gusto ko sa Aura eh. Kapag nakikita nilang may konting lugi dun sa kanilang draft, what they do is to find other ways to be farmed. Like yung ginawa ni JP, nag-push na lang siya sa baba, kumuha ng outer turret energy shields for more gold. At hindi lang yan. Nung nagtuturtle yung work, imbis na kumontest pa ang Aura PH, si JP, kinuhaan na lang niya ng jungle si Chu. So what he did is to kind of invade yung work. Kasi nga naman, hindi naman nila kayang lumaban around the turtle, so kuha na lang ng ibang sources around the map.
Ay, kung papasin mo dito, meron turtle take na nangyayari dito para sa side ng Aura. Ginamit agad ni Greed dito yung ultimate niya. Is that the best call? It will be the best call for them as Aura secures a turtle para sa side nila. Habang nangyayari yung lahat, nakikita mo yung pwestuhan ni 3 Martizi dito. Kanina ba siya tumatambay sa mga brush?
Yeah.
Sobra yung use dito ng work Oster Force sa mga brush na yan to get yung pick-offs.
Yeah. That's definitely what they needed. If you're looking at the gold, bakit yung turtle napunta sa side ng work pero, ng Aura, pero mas mayaman pa rin yung work? This is, again, the advantage na meron ng work during the early stages of the match na the game, na in-abuse nila yung kanilang jungling speed and yung kanilang zone out potential. Yung Aura, ngayon, kailangan ng i-bodyguard ni Raflesha at ni Greed yung kanilang YSS or even just defend some parts of the map like in this mid lane, habang yung work naman, medyo malaya yung support duo nila. Pwedeng tumulong sa side lanes or sa jungle or be aggressive just like this so that work, they can have more farm using ito kanilang Bruno kay Ju.
Pero alam mo, nababansin ko dito na yung Eve Wolf, nag-stick lang siya sa halos isang lane.
Yeah.
Ginagamit nila yung spells niya, yung skills niya, at hindi na nakapag-push dito yung work. Pero for this time around, hindi na niya mapipigilan yung push. Pero Unravel dito, ang magiging ally, worth it ba yun?
Definitely worth it dahil nakuha sila ng kill dun sa Thams naman na gustong kumonekta sa kanila. Aura PH, what they wanted to do was use the Thams papunta sa gitna habang sila nagde-defend sa bot, tapos pupunta rin sana sila sa gitna so that they can catch anyone there. Pero ang ganda ng pwestuhan doon ni RTZ, alam niya na may pupunta doon, alam niya may magre-respo doon, nagtago siya dun sa bush na may mid lane at kumuha ng kill.
Habang nangyayari yung lahat, may pick-off na naman silang nakuha dito sa may taas na side naman. Nakuha din nila yung turret. At tatandaan natin, Eve, yes, is a good hero kapag dating sa mga counter-push. Pero ang problema, hindi siya kasing mobile at hindi kasing lawak ng range na isang Farsa yung meron siya.
Yeah, you can see yung pwestuhan. Kusay, just being aggressive kasi gusto lang secure naman yung third turtle of the game. We might see a fourth turtle, Butters, kung sobrang bilis mag-take dito kasi nga naman, the turtles respawn every 2 minutes. So, pag mabilis na mabilis ang kanilang pag-take, may chance sa makakuha.
3 Martizi catching out Greed. Lalaban pa ba sila dito? And that is going to be 2 kills, ladies and gentlemen. Kosei, pumasok. Tingnan natin kung makakalabas siya. Benny Cutie trying his best to deal damage. Pero Wolf, hindi talaga kinakaya dito yung protection na nabibigay ng isang Diggy.
Yeah, and so much damage output coming out from the Bruno. Nakita mo naman, saglit lang na stun. At nakuha agad nila yung burst and mukhang hindi pa sila tapos mag-i-invade sila ngayon, Butters. Ayan ang magandang gawin laban sa isang Yisan Shin. What you need to do is to not let the opposing team get that buff. Napakagandang flicker Using the animation kasi nung flicker, parang nasa taas ka pala nung third tune pa mo na meron ka stun, mag-flicker ka na para pag flicker mo, babang-baba agad, instant stun.
Raflesia, kamunti ka na doon. Pero alam mo, Wolf, ang napapansin ko dito is yung pagmando ng work ng mapa eh. Kumbaga, napapasayaw nila yung Aura PH sa isang kanta na sila yung gumawa.
Exactly. Napapa-TikTok sila ng gano'n.
Napapa-TikTok sila dun sa gusto ng work.
Yeah. This is the problem kapag ang passive ng approach mo when it comes to your hero picks. Surely, ang Aura PH, pwede sila na mag-sit back and relax kasi meron naman silang Bane, meron silang Tams, meron silang YSS. However, yung work, dahil sila yung may mga heroes na kayang mag-control, katulad ng sinabi natin kanina, tempo controller. Ang mga picks ng work Oster Force, gamit ang Digi, gamit ang Kagura, pati na rin ang Cho Esmeralda sa sides.
Hoy! Tignan mo yung damage output nila dito. RTC going in! Look at that! Yan yung overturn dito. Tutumba siya pero kaya ba i-clean up to ng work? Kosei, pinupunta yung si Raflesia. And the Fallen Star Moon, nandun na Raflesia dito. Sinishake and bake pero hindi siya makakatakas. That was 2 kills going to the side of Aura PH.
How? And work Oster Force, hindi nila nirespeto ang damage output ng isang Bane. You can see that nag-dive sila even under the third. Imagine this. This is Eve, Bane, may thumbs. Kapag nakapwesto na yung mga yan, kahit gaano kakayaman, malambot ka pa rin.
Grabe din yung pinakita ni ni RTZ. Kung papansinin mo kung paano siya pumasok, hinanap niya yung perfect opportunity. Yung Aura PH, masasabi kong nag-drop sila ng guard doon. Talagang, alam mo yon, naging confident sila, nagdikit-dikit sila, at hindi nagdalawang isip si RTZ na gamitin sa kanila yung burst niya.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough at that point. Yung Aura, magaling ang Aura PH sa pagpapadala ng game into the late game. Ang dami na nilang
Dream RTC dito, makakapag-flicker out pa. Look at that. Habang ang daming binigay ng Aura doon na oras, natanggalan sila ng turret sa may mid lane pa. Sila pa ang nawalan.
Oh, man. Alam ng work na malakas yung kanilang minions because of the Lord of the First!
Oh! My goodness, ladies and gentlemen, Benny Cutie doon. Shredding 2 people sa side ng work. Pero will it be enough to stop the push na ginagawa ng Lord?
Oh my. Might be enough. Wala ring pang hit na ng Torre ang work ngayon since Chu is already down. And Trey Marquise, hindi rin siya in position just to push. And look at this. Yung Aura PH, eto na yung kakatakutan mo. Merong Eve, merong Bane. Sobrang taas ng wave clear potential. At ang taas na rin ng damage output doon sa mga heroes. And you also have Tams. Do take note, Tams, ang taas ng damage output sa mga heroes.
Pero napapansin mo yung mapa ngayon, medyo yung Aura PH nag-focus dito sa may purple buff nila. And considering pa na pwede nilang kunin yung pick-off dito kay Trey Marquise, talagang tulong-tulong yung Aura PH dito. Kahit yung purple buff nila, 3 tao yung pinapadala nila.
Work. Kanina pa nila kinokontrol ang tempo. Ngayon, ang question is, can they finish it up? Again, maganda yung kanilang sieging potential. Meron silang Digi, they have the Bruno, ang taas na kanilang damage output sa Torre. However, enough ba yan para sa Eve and sa Bane? Napakataas na base defense coming out from Aura PH dahil sa kanilang wave clear and inay damage output. Pag nagkamali ang work, kahit konti lang, it's gonna be difficult for them to finish this game.
Yun yung nagiging problema dito eh. Kumbaga, sabihin na lang natin, accounted for yung Imperial Justice kasi may mga purified dito sa side ng work Oster Force. Pero doon sa may kabila, if you think about it, Wolf, naka-flicker dito si Greed. So kapag nahuli siya nito kay Marquise, automatic na masisipa siya ng Jeet Kune Do.
Yeah. Although, you gotta have to give it to Greed. Isa sa mga pinakamagaling po besto. And I think after, 3 seasons, na-prove niya na isa siya sa mga pinakamalulupit na support, quote-unquote support players or mid-laners sa ating laban. At hindi siya basta-basta magpapahuli for sure.
Wave the Dragon yung sumisipa. That was my mistake, ladies and gentlemen. But right now, looking at it, talagang nagpipilit sila ditong i-push yung mga minions papunta sa side ng Aura. Kung papansinin mo yung timer ngayon, 60 seconds till the Lord comes up. That is going to be the Enhanced Lord, the Luminous Lord na nag-charge. Holy Crystal para dito kay Kosei. Do you think si Kosei dito online na?
Definitely. Kayang-kaya na nila makakuha ng malulupit na one combo finish, kumbaga, when it comes to their damage output. Yung Work Oster Force, meron silang lamang ngayon na 6,000 gold, and they can even use this. Butters, pwede nila itong gamitin para maging aggressive at mag-dictate ng tempo around the Lord timing. Pag nakuha ng Work Oster Force, ang Luminous Lord, ang level 2 Lord, yung may talon, ika nga, napakahirap mag-defend niya for Aura. But, meron naman silang heroes to defend. So, again, nasa work kung paano sila mananalo o matatalo sa game na to. Yung Aura PH, ang kailangan lang nilang gawin, maghintay. Wait for the right moment to strike. Mag-defend lang na mag-defend kasi maganda naman talaga yung depensa ng kanilang mga heroes. And maybe, just maybe, paabutin nila sa super duper late game kung saan may mas advantage na sila over Work.
Ako nga, Wolf, ang gusto kong gawin dito ng Aura PH, biglain nila ulit.
Pwede
Katulad
rin.
yung ginawa nila kanina. Binigla ni Benny QT, gumawa siya ng magandang play, tapos sumabog dito si Chu, sumabog si RTZ. Parang wala na silang nagawa. Pero eto na, Aura PH, hindi ba nila makokontest to? Chu, nahuli ni Rafflesia, pero Rafflesia, siya pa ang mapapatakbo. Flame shot, hindi tatama, pero hindi magmamatter yun. As Rafflesia will still go down.
A very bad decision from Rafflesia. Tapos na yung Lord eh. They didn't have vision. Wala silang way para makontest. Not in a million years. Hindi niya talaga kaya. Kaya hindi rin niya disrespect yung fact na may Digi. Tandaan, may tali yan. Which means that the reverse time will really stop the Sylvana ngayon. Man down ng Aura PH. It's gonna be difficult to defend. It might be even impossible to defend all of their turrets at this point.
Genius 1 para dito kay RTZ. Ito na ba yung kailangan niya para mag-burst down ng mga tao? Si Creed dito ginamit na yung kanyang ultimate. And that is going to be the Lord marching on. Papunta dun sa may base. The burst down! Kilowash dito. Tutumba. Lord is down as well. Dun sa may taas may nagpo-push. Imperial Justice dito. Susubukan hulihin si Kosei pero Purify is up. 3 turrets down. The inner turrets are down. Aura PH. Paano sila magka-comeback dito?
All what they can do is defend if I were to answer a question, pero napakahirap niyan.
That is true.
Butters, alam mo yung Work Oster Force, ang taas masyado nung kanilang naipong pera na pwede pa sila maghintay ng pangatlong Lord para tapusin laban. Pero mukhang hindi na yun yung gagawin lang. What they need to do now ay hintayin na ang Aura PH ay lumabas ng kanilang base. Baka nga ang gawin pa nila dito ay wag i-clear yung lanes. You know, yung term nila is freezing the lanes para required ang Aura PH na lumabas na kanilang base. At alam natin, ang Aura kapag hindi sila magkakasama, katulad nito, mababurst down talaga sila.
And look at that, the burst potential. Unravel dito with the time's journey. And nagamit na yung ulti ni Greed, nagamit na yung ulti ni Benny. And this is the right time para sa side ng work na lumabas sila dito. Jit Kondo on 3! Knock up tatlo, ladies and gentlemen. Greed dito, ang susunod na tutumba. Vengeance is up, pero sabi ni Kosei dito, ito yung gusto ko, yung Benny yung gusto ko. Benny cutie, makakapag-defend nga ba siya? And look at that burst. Tumba dito agad mga kaibigan si Chu. Pero Kilowash, the last man standing, 1v4. Kakayanin kaya? Hindi kakayanin, and that is going to be work. Taking game number 1.
Ang unang laban ng Work Oster Force in the MPL Season 7 mula sa qualifiers. Already proving na belong sila dito sa liga. Kasama sila talaga dito sa ating liga. Napakaganda mula sa unang laban, mula sa first minute of the game, in control ang Work Oster Force. Nagpakita ng iba't ibang mga heroes as what we did say, na ang kanilang keys to victory is to bring out something new. Diggy Bruno, tempo control to the max para sa side ng Work Oster Force. Hindi nila pinahinga ang Aura PH, kaya hanggang dulo sila ang nagdikta ng laban.
And masayang-masaya mga kaibigan dito yung Work Oster Force with their first win. And ladies and gentlemen, that winning moment is brought to you by Oppo A94. Experience gaming at full speed with Oppo A94, available starting March 26, and Oppo Concept Stores, retail partners, and e-com platforms.
Okay, so excited. Sobrang ganda ng progression ng draft ng side ng Work Oster Force. It's smart. Yung sa side ng Aura PH, comfort nila to eh. Yung mga late game heroes, yung mga wave clear heroes, gusto nila patagalin yung laban, but hindi sila necessarily nagko-control ng tempo ng laban. While yung Work Oster Force naman, nakuha nila yung mga gusto nilang makuha. They have Diggy, Bruno, it works in the meta. Isa pa sa mga bagong highlights ng patch ngayon na pwede ninyong i-expect sa mga susunod na laban. Digi, Rafa, Estes, yung mga nag-heal talaga, yung mga nagsusupport talaga or nagzonod ng kalaban, lalabas at lalabas sila sa mga susunod na laban.
I really think, ladies and gentlemen, map control ang kailangan natin bantayan dito.
That's
and
right.
We will throw it over to our resident analyst, Midnight. Midnight, alam ko madaming manasabi tong taong to eh.
Ako naman.
Madaming manasabi tong taong to. Nakita ko siya, nag-aaral siya kanina. And Midnight, take it away.
Thank you so much, casters, and wow, what a showing from Work Oster Force, showing that their force is to be reckoned with. My name is Midnight, this is the analyst desk, and pag-uusapan natin kung ano ba yung mga naging keys to victory dito ng Work Oster Force. Number one, it's the old school answer against crowd control, the Diggy. Sabi nila, hindi natin kailangan ng mga malulupitang hero. Kailangan lang natin intindihin yung mechanics as to how skills work, and against an Eve and against a Bane, that is no-brainer, easy Diggy pick talaga for Work Osterforce. Mamaya makikita nyo no, sa mga highlights natin kung paano ba iniiwasan ng Work Osterforce yung team fight aspect ng kanilang kalaban. Of course, we have to look at the stats, which is brought to you by Smart, the official tournament telco partner of MPL. Feel free to game great with Smart, free games for all. Makikita natin dito yung itemization ng ating mga players and of course their stats or records dito sa ating game. Now, one thing to note is the damage score of Chu dito. No? He is standing at 7.2. Hindi nga ganun kataas yung damage output ng Bruno. It's primarily on the objectives here for Work Osterforce. Who did the heavy lifting here for Work here? It was actually RTZ on the Kagura. He really did a lot during the fight. Zoning out the tank supports of Aura PH. Rafflesia was not able to find a good game on this Sylvana, and he was really zoning out Greed as well on his ultimates. That's the reason why Aura was not able to find a very confident, a comfortable team fight against Work Osterforce. And dagdag pa natin dyan, si Trimar TZ on the show. The Wind Talker really helped him on the late game to chase for the last team fight that they needed. Nakita naman natin on the last moments no, napakagandang knock-up niya sa apat na heroes, or tatlo ng Aura PH. And it really did solidify the performance here of Work Osterforce. And those are the itemizations and the records or the stats of the players on game number 1. Now, we are gonna look at the highlights moving on after the stats, no? And again, this full stats is brought to you by Smart, the official tournament telco partner of MPL. Feel free to game great with Smart, free games for all. And makikita na natin in just a few yung mga moments dito, yung mga shining moments ng Work Osterforce as they dominated completely over Aura PH. These game highlights are brought to you by Head & Shoulders. Put your game face on and finally say goodbye to those awkward and hashtag itchy moments thanks to Head & Shoulders. 100% dander free and itch free. Now, mas mabango pa, pero pili ko mas mabango yung mga gameplays or yung mga highlights dito ng ating teams. Work Osterforce early game, sila yung nagde-dictate dito ng tempo that is to be expected, having a Bruno and a Diggy on your lineup, and add to that the insane teamfight presence of the Esmeralda as well. Kinaya naman ng Aura PH na mag-hold sa mga pushes ng Work Osterforce. They were able to delay the game enough to such a point na nag-activate naman si Kilowash, pati na rin si JP. But then again, look at the positioning always of 3 RTZ and RTZ. These two players were key for the Work Osterforce team. Makikita nyo talagang pang zone out. Si RTZ, pinapakita niya rito yung sarili niya. Not even hiding under the bushes. Sabi niya, okay, ang kailangan ko lang naman gawin is ipang zone out yung aking payong at hulihin si Eve on the backline. Greed was not able to find a decent positioning on these team fights. Now, meron din pogging moments, no? Si Benny Cutie rito with his Bane. The flicker into deadly catch. Really catch Bruno dead, no, on his rights. And Chu was taken down. But, dito nyo makikita kung gaano ka-excellent yung Diggy pick ng Work Osterforce. After the deadly catch, just simply use the Time's Journey para hindi tayo mahuli ng Eve pati na rin ng Bane. And after that, it was sealed off by 3 Martizi with a very beautiful knock-up onto the heroes of Aura PH. And makikita natin Work Osterforce really did put in the break through your own limits, rise above, and be free to game great with free games for all. MVP of that game is 3 Martizi. That show with 2 key moments on that game. Number 1, nakita natin yung napaka-poging kick in the mid lane with the flicker and to seal the game off with a victory on their back. Really did show a lot on this hero. With KDO 214, medyo mababa, pero nandun pa rin naman yung mga moments as they just contributed to each other to get the victory here for Work Osterforce. Now, the question is, Aura PH, can they find a solution against this playstyle of Work Osterforce, or will they force it to, will they force the game 3, or will Work just clean the series 2-0? That is the question to our casters. Now, casters, let's see game number 2.
Maraming salamat, Midnight, and welcome back to the Caster's Desk. Ladies and gentlemen, game number 2. Pero before we forget, syempre, MPL Philippines Season 7 is presented by Smart, our official tournament telco partner. That is a mouthful, ladies and gentlemen. Free to game create with Smart Free Games for all. Andaming R. Andaming R, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my goodness. You know what, Butters, hindi tayo maubusan ng R dahil Work versus Aura to. So good luck sa'yo. Good luck. We will be heading into the draft of game number 2. Interesting question, kaya ba ng Aura PH na pigilan itong bagong style? Or actually, hindi naman bagong style, pero isa sa mga new styles na makita natin mula sa Work Osterforce. Ang tanong ay, ang sagot ay parang Delix. Kasi nga naman, ang ginawa na ng Aura PH ay binanda nila yung mga comfort picks ng Work Osterforce, tapos kumuha sila ng comfort picks nila, pero hindi nag-work. Baka na nga naman kasi hindi tama ang understanding or yung basa ng Aura PH sa Work Osterforce.
Pero alam mo, bago tayo pumunta sa drafting, masasabi ko lang, kailangan nila isipin na hindi dapat maging linear yung kanilang mga draft. But right now, speaking of draft, who will make the smart choice? Brought to you by Smart, syempre. Etong drafting stage natin by the official tournament telco partner. And alam mo, ang napapansin ko lang naman talaga kasi is parang kailangan talagang isipin dito ng Aura na kailangan nila magdagdag ng flavor dun sa mga ginagawa nilang draft. Kasi considering na napaka-linear nung kanina eh.
Yeah.
As in, literally, ang gusto nilang gawin is i-hold yung members dito ng work into place, tapos yung Bane na yung bahala, yung si JP na yung bahala. Pero kasi kanina hindi pwede yun eh. Ang daming factors na kailangan tignan. Pwedeng pumasok si RTZ na napakaraming gamit, yung Kagura. Pwede silang pigilan ng isang Digi. May Purify si Esmeralda. Ang daming factors na kailangan nila i-take into consideration bago sila mag-pull off ng mga ganung lineup.
Parang ano yan eh. This is how I look at it, Butters. Pag nakita mo yung lineup ng kalaban at nakikita mo, ay, early game tong composition ng laban. Ay, meron tayong wave clear. Kaya nating i-defend yan. This is one of the most common na MOBA understandings ng mga players, at lalo na pag isang tournament game. Parang isipin mo, hindi, kaya naman yan kasi meron tayong wave clear. But then again, meron tayong nami-miss na partners na paano ba natin kakayanin papunta dun sa late game. Kasi yun yung nakita natin sa Aura PH. On paper, maganda yung kanilang depensa. Kitang-kita naman natin. Pero paano pag nagkamali na sila? Paano kung masyado ng aggressive? Paano kung mas mabilis pala mag-control yung kalaban mo than what you expected? Which is exactly what happened in that game. Aura PH promising yung kanilang wave clear, promising yung kanilang defense against the tempo control of Work Osterforce. Pero hindi nila tinake into consideration what if yun na nga pinalabas sila dun sa base nila, like what happened in the last clash. Or paano kung si Kose, for example, ay tumatalo na ng gano'n, ng confident dahil sobrang yaman na nga niya. Or si Tri Martizi biglang yung tawag nila yata dun, yung TikTok play eh. Or isa pa yata yun eh. Yung pag jeet kondo mo, bago pa bumabag sa lupa, nag-flicker ka na para instant stun.
Alam mo, kulang na lang dun. TP tsaka sticker.
Yun na nga.
Yun na yung kulang doon. And as you can see on your screens right now, this is the bootcamp of Aura PH. Nakita din natin yung bootcamp kanina dyan ng Work Osterforce. And if you want to know more about these bootcamps, nilibot namin ni Wolfman Jean and Roblu na kasama din ako. And you wanna watch that, yung videos namin din, which is called Bootcamp Raid. Nandiyan yan sa MPL Philippines page. So make sure you watch those content kasi ang daming nilineup ng MPL Philippines sa content para sa inyo, para ma-enjoy nyo.
Okay, going back to the draft, Butters, I think sobrang importante pa rin para sa akin na ang Aura PH ay wag nilang ibigay yung Alice at yung Pakito. Although, baka mas mag-emphasize ngayon ang Aura PH doon sa Esmeralda. Because it kind of feels like yung side ng Work Oster Force ay sobrang komportable dito. At yung Cho din ay kailangan na rin solusyonan itong Aura PH. Hindi lang dahil doon sa performance ni Trimartizi kanina, but also because it's a flex pick. Parang ano siya, isang hero na kahit saan halos ay pwede mong gamitin. Kahit anong draft. Cho, na sobrang kompleto niya bilang isang hero. Kasi bukod sa kaya niya mag-tank, pwede rin siya mag-side lanes.
Yes, that is true. And as you can see right now on your screens, that is Work Oster Force. And nag-iisip sila dito talaga na mabuti sa kanilang ginagawang drafting. But you know what? Game number 1, kailangan mo talagang pansinin yung mechanical skill dito na pinakita ng Work Oster Force. Kung paano nila ginamit to the maximum potential yung kanilang mga heroes, Wolf.
Yeah.
Like yung Kagura, yun, nakakagulat si RTZ pumapasok sa tatlo.
He knows na may backup kasi sa kanya no matter what. Meron kang sarili mong way para tanggalin yung crowd control. Tapos meron ka pang additional na times journey. Kaya naman din siguro sobrang confident niya. Ganda rin ng vision na napoprovide kasi nung bombs nung Digi. Kaya naman din matapang talaga itong paglalaro ni RTZ on the Kagura. Not only that, meron pang additional na tatalon for them. Puro talon yung heroes ng side ng Work Oster Force. Which is great against heroes na mahilig mag-sit back and relax. Ano ba yung mga heroes na gano'n? Like Eve, like Bane, for example, di ba? Parang dun muna sila sa likod, tapos tsaka sila lalaban. Pero imagine this, merong isang Kagura, may Cho, meron din na Esmeralda. Talagang gap closers yan.
Almost automatically, ang pupuntahan nila lagi is si Eve. And one of the things that Eve, sabihin na lang natin yung wala siya nung mga panahon na yon is going to be the Purify. Now, looking at it, maganda sana yung flicker. Pero kailangan pagka flicker kasi yung gamit mo, automatic palapit pa lang yung kalaban. Dapat na-telegraph mo na kung saan sila manggagaling para makapag-flicker out ka sa safety. Yun yung wala siya. Kasi ang ginagawa ni Trimartizi kanina, kung papansinin mo, Wolf, dito yung pumapasok yung sinasabi mong TikTok play. Yung TikTok Jeet Kundo. Yung nasa gitna pa lang, nasa gitna ka na ng pagkakas, tsaka ka mag-flicker. Isipin mo, wala kang time mag-react kapag ganun yung ginawa sa'yo.
Sobrang instant niya. Isa pang TikTok play na nakita ko, Butters, by the way.
Yung
Jeet Kun, di ba, mag-stand ka. Tapos pag ginamit mo yung Wave the Dragon, flicker ka sa likod. Para yung, di ba, kunwari nakaharap ka dun sa hero. Pagka press mo ng ultimate mo, normally, di ba, syempre, patalikod nung target mo. Pero pag sinipa mo na, tapos nag-flicker ka, another TikTok yun. Nag-flicker ka ng sobrang instant, di ba nasa likod ka nung hero? So, mangyayari, sisipain niya, papunta dun sa base nyo. I don't know if imagine this, isang Cho, blue side ka na Cho, tas yung red side kalaban mo kung sino man yung hero na yon, pinress mo yung ultimate mo, Wave the Dragon, tas nag-flicker ka sa likod ng kalaban, papuntang blue side. Yung sipa mo, yun isang TikTok play din.
Is this the same draft as... Oh, no.
It's not, but...
I think it is the same pattern as game number 1. It is the same pattern. Actually, nauna lang yung thumbs.
Digi Cho agad para sa Work Oster Force.
And sabihin na lang natin dito for the side of Work Oster Force, wala silang kailangan baguhin because automatically, pareho lang din yung mga picks na ginawa kanina ng Aura PH.
This is so weird for me.
Ang weird nito.
Pero mukhang confident ang Aura PH and it doesn't matter so much. Kita mo naman, tumayo agad si our coach Arcadia at mukhang masaya si Benny Cutie. Ito yung mga masabi mong, okay lang. By the way, I wanna say, Butters, ang Aura PH, during the off-season, nananalo sila sa mga series kahit pa natalo sila sa game number 1. Tapos biglang dominant sila sa games number 2 and 3. Medyo version ng Bren Esports ng MPL Season 4 kung saan download game yung tawag sa kanila. At yun ang nakikita ko ngayon sa Aura PH. But this is off-season. Off-season games. Kasi nga naman, kakaiba mag-isip to si Arcade. Ang galing nila mag-recover from losses. Yan ang masasabi kong isang napakagandang asset ng Aura PH. They are so good when it comes to recovering from losses.
And yung pinaka-recent na nag-download game sa MPL regular season was probably Onyx.
That is
diba?
also true.
So,
no MPL Season 6.
So, MPL Season 6. So, ibig sabihin yan sa mga nakapanood na Season 4, okay lang. Kung di ka naman nanood na Season 4, at nanood ka ng Season 6, okay lang din. May mga examples tayo.
That's right.
All seasons dito sa MPL, meron laging ganyan. Naalala ko pa, ginawa pa ng Archangel dati yan eh.
At again, nung Season 3.
Season 3, di ba? So, talagang, alam mo yun, these kinds of patterns or trends, nangyayari talaga siya all throughout the MPL seasons. And kung papansinin mo, if your hunch is correct na talaga makakabawi sila dito dahil nag-download game lang sila ng game number 1, then work on Tier Force. Kailangan nila dito na talagang mag-brace for impact. Ito na yung Aura PH na hinahanap nyo.
Let's see. We'll finally see the draft as of now. Well, at least yung game, si Greed lumilipad muna sa mapa. Siya naman yung nagkagura. There's a Grok para kay Raflesha. Si Chu going for a slower tempo ngayon gamit ang kanilang Claude. Pero nasa kanila pa nga rin ang Digi.
Ipapasin mo dito, Grok with the high and dry Raflesha dito. Going for something unusual. Ito yung sinasabi natin, Wolf, yung creativity na Arcadia at yung consistency, textbook plays na ginagawa ni Dale. It's all falling into place. And nakikita mo naman kung gaano ka-aggressive dito yung Aura.
You can see na ang ginawa doon ni Raflesha is tinreten niya yung Claude. Alam natin na compared to the Bruno, yung Claude mas mabagal mag-take yan ng buffs. Kaya siguro nag-high and dry ito si Raflesha kasi gusto niyang pigilan yung pag-jungle ng Work Oster Force. And look at this, JP carry ang gamit niya bilang jungling hero. Retribution.
Alam mo, dati nung sabihin natin M2 World Championships, ginagamit din to ng isang team doon, which is the Burmese Ghouls, and tinatawag nila tong Claude Killer.
That's right.
Kasi meron siyang wild charge na kayang pigilan yung Blazing Duet. At kapag sa mga early stages of the game, nakahuli siya ng isang Power of Nature at ng isang wild charge, automatic, burado na ang isang Claude.
Interestingly, Sprint instead of Flicker ang pinili dito ni Raflesha para maging anti-Claude. But in a way, it also makes sense. Para din maganda yung person like this, pwede ka maging aggressive and just to get out. Ang kaibahan nga lang sa mga normal na Claude Killer na Grox in the tank role ay nagpo-pull yourself together sila. With high and dry, medyo mas malambot ka. Pwede yan, Grox side lanes. Kapag nakakuha ka na ng Heptasis mo, go for tanky items at ang lakas mo from the side lanes at isa kang tunay na Claude Killer. But that was January pa, Butters. January pa natin huling nakita yon. It might not work this time. Sobrang iffy para sa akin ang choice nito para sa RPH. Then again, ang gusto naman nilang gawin ay mag-hyper farm gamit ang carry na naka-retribution.
Now, this is very interesting. Doon sa nakita natin sa draft na una, it's not going to be a show. It's obviously a lapu-lapu for 3 Martizi dito. And dito natin kilala yung Work Oster Force na pumipili sila ng mga stable side lane heroes na kayang suportahan yung sarili nilang lane and they win from that. Ganito yung Claude formula na ginagawa nila.
And that is their way para umabot naman sa late game. Ito yung talagang masasabi kong strategy ng Work Oster Force. Medyo late game centric kasi sila. Kaya nga din nagulat ako nung game number 1 against the Aura PH, just the previous one, wherein sila naman yung tempo controllers.
And JP right now, hinuhuli si 3 Martizi dito. And look at the damage output, na-stun siya dito. Pero Kilowash, nasa vicinity, and that's going to be the turtle na talagang inipilit dito ng side ng Work. Kosei, RTZ, nag-rotate na sila dito. Ang kulang na lang si Chu, 5 na yung tao galing sa Work dito. Guardian's Barrier, tinapon, pero yung turtle dito hindi makabalik. Ay naku, nag-U-turn. Pero nakahuli na dito, ladies and gentlemen. JP dito gets called out. The Falling Star Moon is there. RTZ using the Cyclone. Ay, makakatakas ba siya dito? Benny Cutie. Oh my goodness, makakaalis ba siya? And kamuntikan ng makatakas. Pero si Benny Cutie, meron pa rin siyang skill, meron pa rin siyang physical attack. And that's going to take RTZ down. And sa dami-dami na nangyari yun, Wolf, makukuha pa rin ata dito ng Work na hindi kinokontest ng Aura yung turtle.
Ginamit ng Guardian Spare this time.
What?
Okay.
Kakasabi ko lang na hindi makokontest, pero Wolf, mali pala yung sinabi ko. Inagaw pa nila.
Okay. He's known as Insection ba? Tawag kay Intersection. Raflesha, high and dry for maximum damage. Wala siyang kahit anong sanang way instead of the wild charge. Aside from the wild charge para manakaw yung turtle na yon. Pero may retribution kasi si Chu. So, this is weird. Kaya naman nakuha nga naman ni Reflesha kasi maganda yung kanyang timing. He knows na hindi ganun ka-perfect yung retribution dito ni Chu. Kaya naman nanakaw niya. So, yun ang super duper worth. Sobrang win-win yon para sa Aura dahil wala silang sinayang. Tank ni Reflesha, expendable ang wild charge. Hindi kinailangan ng oras ni Benny QT at ni Kilowash. Nakakuha sila ng free turtle.
Alam mo kung naalala ko dito? Yung season 1, yung laging Grak yung kumukuha ng
si
turtle.
Lasty.
Oh, yung Grak na kahit sinong Grak, sila yung humahawak ng turtle para extra protection para sa kanya. Yun yung naaalala ko. Si Unravel dito, kamunti ka na mahuli. Pero one more physical attack coming up from the Kagura. Tutumba siya dito. And kung titignan mo yung mapa ng work dito, talagang pinapalit ng Aura. Tignan mo kung gano'n sila ka-aggressive.
Nag-work bigla itong Grok na ginamit ng Aura Page dahil pwede sila maging aggressive. Ito yung kinulang sila kanina. Wala silang hero na talagang nagfe-face check ng mga bush. For example, si Sylvana, hindi ka naman din talaga dadaan dun sa mga bush para gamitin yung sarili mo dahil ang dali mong i-burst down, lalong-lalo na may Kagura tas meron pa Digi with the bombs. This time, it's Grok na pag dumikit sa mga walls, ang taas agad ng regen, nakakagiging aggressive siya this time. Nagkakaroon ng extra vision yung Aura PH in this game compared to previous game na wala silang ganong klaseng hero.
Kung napapasin dito, napipilitan kasi si Chu lagi na gamitin yung retribution niya. So ano ibig sabihin nun kapag nagamit niya yung retribution niya? May mga times na sa objectives dito sa may mapa, yung turtle up na, pag wala siya dito retribution, automatically, napipilitan silang i-give up yun. Katulad netong turtle na to, and that is going to be a great pick-off para sa work. And look at that flame shot. Sa pool na sa pool! Galing kay Kuya Grid.
Beautiful play. Grid, isa sa mga favorite heroes niya, even in MPL Season 6, Kagura, taking advantage of the burst. Pati nga naman yung idea na malambot yung mga heroes ng work Oster Force. Ang ginawa ng Aura PH na move, let's call it a diversion tactic, gumawa ng play, ito si Kiluwash, it looks really mindless, Butters, na lumaban ka, nakipag 1v1 ka sa 4, or at least 1v4. Pero, ang talagang gusto nilang gawin ay kumuha ng sarili nilang turtle.
1v1 sa 5, 1v1 sa 4. Nauso talaga sa atin yan. Pero
hindi na mawawala sa atin yan.
Hindi na mawawala sa atin yan. 3 Martisi dito, inipit ng mga pating. Pating! And that is going to be another pick-off. Ba't ka umiiling?
Wala.
Ba't ka umiiling? Walang ilingan.
Pating ang ginamit ng Aura PH para mas-slow down doon si 3 Martisi. Alam kasi nila yung weakness ng isang Lapu-Lapu. Kapag nabato mo na yung ultimate mo, hindi ka na makakapaglakad-lakad dyan. It's not like Pakito na makakatakas sa ganung mga moments. Dahil may slow din naman si JP na kapatay nila. And tignan mo naman, the Claude Killer is online.
The Claude Killer. And napapasin mo din si Raflesia, talagang pinapakita nila na kaya din nila manduhan yung mapa. Binibigay nila yung ginawa, binabalik nila yung ginawa ng work sa kanila nung game number 1. Eh kung papasin mo dito, lumiliit yung mapa ng work. Ibig sabihin, umuonte yung resources na makukuha ni Chu.
Yeah. Unlike the previous game, Work Oster Force, wala naman silang hard initiator. Hindi katulad ng mga members sa RPH kung saan yung Grok pwedeng mauna sa laban. Or in the previous game wherein may Cho, meron kayong mixture ng Cho, Kagura, as well as the Esmeralda. This time, meron lang silang Lapu and Esmeralda. Admittedly, maganda yung Lapu-Lapu before the nerfs. Napakalakas niyang pumronta talaga at magsimula ng laban. But this time, during the recent patches, hindi na ganun ka-effective ang isang Lapu-Lapu. In fact, makikita natin na nasa-shred ang Lapu-Lapu this time. Dahil nga naman meron na tayong carry. Walang makakapulunta kasi nga naman sa carry, lalong-lalo na pag maganda ang simula.
Kilowash dito, try to defend this, pero nawala ang mga minions and Chu, hindi aabot ang kanyang damage. RTZ dito, hinahabol yung Raflesia, mapipilitan siya gumamit ng flicker, and that's going to be Guardian's Barrier. Hindi tatama yung wild charge, pero doon sa may likod, very cute dito, pinapakita niya na yung potensyal ng isang Bane. Pero Greed, sabi niya dito, kala nyo kayo lang yung marunong mang-burst. Ako din.
And I think nakikita natin ngayon para sa side ng Work Oster Force, nagkakaroon na sila ng range problems. Ano ba ibig sabihin yan? Ito yung problema nila kasi kailangan nilang medyo mag-dive. If you're looking at their heroes, Lunox and Claude, hindi talaga sila yung pinakamalalayo ang range. In fact, kailangan lumapit ang Claude as well as the Lunox to deal the damage. Hindi yung titingnan natin, Esmeralda as well as the Lapu, kailangan din pumasok yan. Which means na sobrang effective ngayon ng Bane, pati na rin ng carry. Even the Grok, pag lumapit ang Work Oster Force, without their time's journey, talaga makatras sila. Look at that! Burst coming out from the Bane.
Ang lakas talaga ng zoning potential ng isang Bane. Nakita mo, lumabas yung mga pating. Pero napilitan umalis ng kabilang mapa, kabilang side dito. Yung mga members ng Work, and right now, papansinin mo talagang nagpo-push na lang sila. Look at the damage coming up from Greed. Isang payong lang. One-fourth ng buhay ni RTZ yung nawala.
This is the problem when your Work Oster Force, yung sustain mo ay hindi talaga hard sustain. Hindi siya tulad ng mga heroes na katulad ng Grok, Tigreal, yung mga innately tanky talaga. If you're looking at Esmeralda, Lunox, and Lapu-Lapu as well as the Claude, kailangan nilang mag-skill muna para kumunat. Alam mo yun, may kailangan nilang ng shields or kailangan nilang mang-micro ng kalaban. Like Lunox, kailangan mag-lifesteal or mag-pop ng ultimate. Pag binigla na sila ng isang Bane na nag-flicker ulti, doon na sila mayayari.
Papasin mo dito, napaka-unusual din ang ginawa ni JP dito. He goes straight for the Wind Talker first. And that will give JP the extra, sabihin na ng damage output na kakailanganin niya into the early game, into the mid-game skirmishes. Ngayon, mag-focus na siya into building an endless battle. At dito si JP, nakikita na natin, talagang kontrolado niya na yung mapa, kontrolado niya din yung gubat nung kabila. So, ibig sabihin dito, endless flow of gold para sa side ng Aura PH.
Hindi lang yan, pati na rin yung mga crucial na objectives. Dominance Ice ang nakuha ngayon ng ating Digi. So, very crucial item, much needed, but it might not be enough. Baka kailangan pa rin sila ng pagiging makunat laban sa Aura PH, lalong-lalo na sobrang yaman na ngayon ni JP. Kahit si Benny Cutie ay ang taas na rin ng kanyang damage output dahil, mind you, naka-sulit card to. Naka-mystery shop, which means na mabilis lang siya makakuha ng items at nakakapag-free farm pa siya ngayon. Manggugulat na naman to, Waters. Gonna have to take note for Work Oster Force. Mahirap magdepensa on their side dahil pwede silang i-flicker deadly catch ng ating Bane.
Sabihin na lang natin dito na for Work din, hindi din ganon kaganda yung range capabilities nila dito. Katulad nga sinabi mo kanina, ngayon magpupush sila. Sino mga kailangan nila kalabanin? Si Carry, si Tams, si Bane. Kung papansinin mo, si RTZ din dito, kahit sabihin mong yes, may way siya para ma-clear ng waves, nag-i-involve din yun na talagang lumapit siya ng onte eh.
Yeah.
So, ibig sabihin dito, si Diggy talaga yung magiging susi nila sa pag-wave clear lang dito.
Kita naman natin. Hirap na hirap ang Work Oster Force na magdepensa. And even that burst.
Oh my goodness, pero Chu dito lumalaban siya and Green will go down. Affliction dito is the next target. Si Chu dito nakaka-free hit. Hindi nila kakayanin. Pero Claude pops off, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. The full capability, the full potential of Bane. Pinakita sa atin dito ng Aura. And yun, yung magic damage, and tignan mo, yung mga TP na lumalabas dito, nagtitipi na sila, ang Raven dito, gusto pa yung takedown ni JP. Pero JP goes down in the process, and game number 2, babawiin ng Aura, and we will go to a game number 3.
That was fast. Sobrang bilis, in a snap, nakatunaw agad. Bane, ito yung hina-hype. Si Rob Luna na nanonood ngayon, sinipe niya to na pag hindi daw nakita yung Bane sa ban or sa picks, may dinaya daw. At hina-hype niya sa atin sa mga kasus gano'ng kataas ang damage output na to. And now, see it so you can believe it. The burst from the Bane is just way too much.
And that winning moment, ladies and gentlemen, is brought to you by Head and Shoulders. Put your game face on and finally say goodbye to those awkward itcha GG moments. Thanks to Head and Shoulders, 100% dandruff-free and itch-free. Now, mas mabango pa.
I can't believe it. You know what? Sinabi natin na ang Aura PH ay magaling mag-recover from the losses. At sobrang lupit pa no kanilang recovery ngayon game number 2. Kasi technically, ginamit nila yung halos pares na draft. Well, just the Bane in a way. But this time, ginawa nila, kumuha sila ng heroes na kinulang sila in the previous game. which is face check heroes like the Grok, for example, pati na rin yung sobrang slow nila na tempo kanina ay binilisan nila ngayon compared to the previous game.
And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, parehong-pareho lang tayo ng sentiments about that game. We will throw it over to our analyst Midnight. Baka may iba pa siyang masabi dito sa game na to.
You know what? The difference is game number 2, Aura PH didn't really care about team fight, didn't really care about skills. They just took damage, and that was what sealed the game here for Aura PH and forcing out game 3 against Work Austin Force. Welcome back to the analyst desk. My name is Midnight, and dito pag-usapan natin kung ano ba yung naging adjustments dito ng Aura PH, kung bakit nailabas nila yung game 3 out of this series. Now, I have to talk about the Grok pick of Raflesia. No? Hindi natin nakita yung draft, pero most likely it was a telegraph pick by Aura PH. They saw the Lunox, they saw the Digi, and ang solution lang dito is, okay, huwag tayong gumamit ng mga heroes na dependent sa skills and lockdowns. Let's just use, sabi nga ng cases natin, no, yung mga face check heroes. Now we're gonna look at the stats here, brought to us by Smart, the official tournament telco partner of MPL. Feel free to game grade with Smart free games for all, and makikita nyo rito yung mga scores ng ating players. 11 kills for Aura and 5 for Work Oster Force. It was a really fast game, no? And it was because of the presence of the Grok on the early game. Pag tinignan nyo yung lineup ng Aura PH, no? Actually, there's no real, there's no real condition for these guys. Hindi sila naghihintay ng ultimate, hindi sila naghihintay ng exact timing for these spells. They don't even need to catch people off guard on the side of teamwork. They just output damage. Yun lang yung ginagawa ng lineup to. And you saw that with Benny Cutie even chasing RTZ in the middle lane earlier and just using the flicker into deadly catch combination to take out the Claude. And that was, the overall look of the game. And once again, guys, these stats are brought to us by Smart, the official tournament telco partner of MPL. Free to game great with Smart free games for all. And nakita nyo naman kanina, no? Actually, makikita nyo ulit sa highlights kung paano ba kwinasak ng Aura PH yung early game ng Work Oster Force. It was basically just Raflesia moving around. Now, we're gonna move on to the highlights of the series, game, brought to us by Master. Bring your clay game with Master, sikreto ng mga gwapo. Ito makikita natin yung sikreto ni Raflesia, no? Yung poging-poging, gwapong-gwapong Grok natin. But first, si Benny Cutie on the early game, makita natin yung presence ni Bane on these skirmishes. Again, hindi sila naghihintay ng mga skills. They just spam them to dish out the damage. And Aura PH, they know na they're just waiting for the items here of JP on the carry. And honestly, they could have picked other marksmen here, no? The YSS, even the Clint, the Granger. It could have worked because the whole idea of the draft of Aura PH just destroys what Work Oster Force has. Having the Digi and the Lunox, these guys wait for opportunities. They bait out skills on the enemy side. But look at Aura PH. Every time they see a hero, they just go. They just commit. Unravel being damaged by the flame shot with a slow, forced to use the time's journey, and of course, hahabulin lang yan ng Aura PH, easily securing kills after kills after kills after kills. 6-2 ang ating kill score pagdating ng 8 minutes 40 seconds in, and they just pushed in. After the Lord, napakaganda ng opportunity para isang nakagad yung game. Makikita natin dito yung napakagandang deadly catch ni Benny Cutie, and it was an easy victory here for Aura PH, securing game number 2 against Work Oster Force. And once again, the game here, the idea here of Aura PH is just to dish out damage. Hindi natin wag na tayong magpabadre pa kay Digi and kay Lunox. Wag na natin hintayin yung mga skills natin. Let's just use Grok and get vision, propel ourselves to victory, and get that game number 3. Ngayon, ang MVP ay kokoranahan natin dito sa ating game. Kanina nakita natin yung mga amazing performance ng mga players natin, and this time around, we will have Benny Cutie for the MVP. Brought to you by Smart, the official tournament telco partner of the MPL. Break through your own limits, rise above, and be free to game grade with free games for all. He did break through his own limits. Sabi niya kay Coach Arcade, kay Coach Dale, Coach, lang pakialam, kahit pangit game 1 ko, Bane pa rin tayo game 2. KDF 305, and look at the damage dealt here, 37,035. Kung iisipin nyo na medyo maliit yan, 37,000, that was a game under 15 minutes. So napakataas niyan for a Bane, and it was just the easy game here for Benny Cutie and the gang. Starting from the early game, snowballed towards the late game, and deadly catch, and they caught off guard Work Oster Force to force out game number 3. Now the question is, who will be the winner of the entire series? Will Work make the dream work, or will Aura PH have this Aura Fire inside it? Casters, back to you.
Remember, ladies and gentlemen, napaka-importante ng pinakaunang series mo sa MPL Season 7, considering the fact na sobrang daming naghahangin na balance dito sa first series na to. Ano-ano yun? Confidence mo. Yung mga heroes na ipapakita mo. And with this win, dito mo natin makikita talaga kung ano nga ba ang mga ibibigay pa o ibubuga pa ng mga team na to. Pero let us not forget to thank the one who presents us. Siyempre, ang MPLPH Season 7 is presented by Smart, the official tournament telco partner of the MPL. Free to game, great with Smart, free games for all.
And you did mention about the importance of your first series. Ano nga ba ang importansya ng pinakaunang series ng iyong ng MPL Season 7 run? You know what? Weirdly enough, Butters, mukhang mas importante pa to sa Aura kaysa sa Work Oster Force. For Work Oster Force, they don't need to prove anything in a way. Pero yung para sa Aura PH, parang eto na naman parang yung huling laban nila sa regular, sa season, sa MPL Season 6 was kind of bad. Talaga 0-3 sila. Pero ngayon, pag natalo pa sila ng isang bagong team sa MPL, edi lalong-lalo na talagang mahihirapang makarecover mentally in a way or emotionally ang side ng Aura PH. While yung Work Oster Force, pwede nila i-shrug off yan. They still have plenty of more things ahead of them. Pero para sa Aura PH, it matters more. Siguro, ganun na rin kataas ang pressure sa side ng Aura PH. Kaya kailangan nilang maipanalo itong series na to.
I like it kasi parang may psychology na din dito eh. May player psychology na rin kung paano yung mapifeel ng team kapag natalo sila dito, kung paano pag nanalo sila, kung gaano ka-importante ito sa confidence sila.
Yeah.
It's something that we really have to consider because the thing is, although nakikita natin dito yung mga games, there is a factor din, ladies and gentlemen, na may mga iba't ibang personality yung mga teams. May iba't ibang mga nakakapagpasaya sa kanila, may iba't ibang nakakapagpalungkot. So, ibig sabihin, ang daming kailangan i-consider dito sa MPLPH Season 7. And I'm glad we got to know the players even more as the seasons went by.
Oh, saktong-sakto nung nakita natin yung Aura PH. I think ikaw mismo yung nagsabi na tagkwento sa akin kasi na-interview ninyo ang Aura PH. Isa sila sa mga pinaka-masaya na team, mas bonded together. At nakikita naman natin na may mga issues ang Aura PH. Kahit nung off-season ng MPL, nakita natin na natatalo sila ng mga teams. Pero ang galing kasi mag-recover nitong team na to. I wanna say, wag natin masyadong i-expect or i-pressure ang Aura PH na kailangan dapat din nanalo sila sa lahat ng laban. Yung tatlong bagong players sila, kailangan pa rin natin isipin, work in progress pa rin yan. So kailangan pa rin natin bigyan ng time bago sila maging talagang solid na solid.
Now, coming into Game 3, I think for Work and Aura dito, there are a lot of things to consider in terms of drafting. And considering na yung Bane really gave a headache dito para sa side ng Work, tingin mo ba, Wolf, kailangan na iban yung Bane?
Oh, that's a very interesting question. Tingin ko hindi. Tingin ko hindi naman.
Pero nakita mo kung gaano kadaming damage yung nabibigay niya sa isang go lang.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I think yung draft lang talaga ng Work Oster Force ay hindi kakayanin yung Bane pag hindi nila na-earlyhan. Yun nga yung term, diba? Pag hindi mo na-earlyhan, yun ang mas sinasabi ng mga pro players. And that happens a lot kapag yung Bane ay nabigyan ng free farm. Obviously, makakapa-farm agad. And nakita naman natin in the previous game, nung sila yung nag-dictate ng tempo, parang hindi naman naging problema sa kanila yung mismong Bane. So I think na kung alam nila kung paano kontrahin yung hero na yon, give it even sa Aura PH. Kasi pag in-open mo yan sa Aura PH at nakita nila, oh my God, open yung Bane. Kukunin ba natin to? Parang pino-force nila yung Aura PH na kumuha ng Bane at pwede nilang i-counter.
Yeah.
So honestly, hindi pa rin siya for me na talagang totally autoban hero. Mas madami pang OP heroes na ayaw mo ibigay sa side ng Aura PH. For example, Cho. Ayaw mo siyang ibigay kasi flex pick yan. Rafflesia as well as Kilowash. They can play it. Pakito, wag mo ibibigay. Esmeralda or Brody. There's so many heroes na wag mong ibibigay sa side ng Aura PH at baka hindi enough yon para ilagay yung Bane doon.
Ang dami natin nakuha kay Wolf doon, sa totoo lang. And very interesting coming into game number 3. There are a lot of things to consider. Pati yung Kagura dito, in terms of the series alone.
So far, no?
100% win rate siya on both games.
Some very... I think ngayon, napakita natin sa MPL Season 6 na meron na talagang quote-unquote mid lane, which is yung role na tawag natin doon yung support eh. Parang yun eh, pero killer support eh, di ba? Pero yung tawag natin mid lane.
Way back, meron naman na. Pero I think yung sinasabi mo dito is mas defined na yung role.
That's right. Mas defined na yung role ng mid lane nga natin. At baka Kagura yung maging bida nung lane na yon. Just because of the fact na parang kailangan bawat team ay may Kagura user. Kasi parang nakukuha mo yun eh. It's a very good hero to be in the mid lane kasi meron siyang killing potential. May solo kill potential siya. At kapag nag-flex ka na, sabi ako yung support ng mundo or yung mid lane ng mundo, kailangan magaling ka mag-Kagura.
So both teams, ladies and gentlemen, they have to draft smart. So tignan natin dito ang ating drafting screen in just a bit, and this brought to you by Smart, the official tournament telco partner of the MPL. Free to game great with Smart, free games for all. Drafting na tayo, Wolf, and this is going to be exciting. Yung draft na tinignan natin eh, kasi kung papansinin nyo yung game naman nila, nung nag-dominate sila pareho dun sa mga respective games na napanalo nila, parang pareho lang sila ng gustong gawin eh.
Yeah. The tempo control is the key. Baka yan yung bago nating matutunan ngayon MPL Season 6. Ano be the Paquito ban. At for the third time in a row, mukhang ang Aura PH pa rin ang nasa blue side bottoms.
Aura PH, ayaw talaga nila bitawan yung blue side na yan. Masyado silang nagpo-focus talaga dyan sa first pick na yan. And they really give it a lot of priority. But for the side of Work Oster Force, they're still going for that Joe headband.
Yeah. Joe isang hero na pasok kasi sa kahit anong lineup talaga. Okay. So just like in game number 1, Alice followed up, Paquito followed up by Alice ang ban ng side ng Aura PH, while Work Oster Force is also the same. Gonna be followed up by the Natalia na second ban nila. And Aura PH might go for the Alice, for the Esmeralda or Selena once again. It's like in game number 1.
Alam mo,
Selena nga ulit.
Nakikita ko lang dito para side ng Aura at saka sa Work Oster. Ito yung mga heroes na ayaw lang talaga nila ibigay sa kabila kasi alam nila kapag may lumusot dito, sila yung magkakaroon ng problema.
Yeah.
Now, this is the same bans as, game number 1 din. And now Aura PH, will they still go for the Sylvana first pick?
I don't think so. I think may available pa na Cho. Meron pang available na Esmeralda. So mas magandang unahin yan.
Thamus ba? It's going to be a Thamus.
That is surprising to me. Pero kasi naman, don't fix what's not broken. I mean, para dito kay Kilowash, ang sabi ni Coach Arcadia, pre, Thamus hanggang mabulag.
Thamus hanggang mabulag.
That's how it goes. Isa sa mga paboritong heroes ni Kilowash. Baka naman din kasi mas na komportable ang side ng Aura PH kapag ito ang napipick.
Kumbaga nagkakaroon sila ng isang stable or consistent na side laner na pwede niya sabihin sa early game, anak, ako na, itabi mo na. Ako na bahala. Yung sasabihin ka dun sa nagpa-farm, it's probably the jungler, it's probably the gold lane. Pero may isa pa tayo aspeto na hindi nakikita dito sa Aura PH. They can still go for a possible 1-1 pick, a possible marksman pick on Benny Cutie. Kasi hindi lang naman ito talaga yung hero na hindi lang naman talaga Bane yung ginagamit ni Benny Cutie. Benny Cutie.
Pero alam mo, pwede ka mag-Kagura Bane ulit para sa side ng Aura PH. It's really not stopping you. Kasi Work Oster Force, kinuha din nila yung Esmecho. So ano nga bang kunin? Grok as well as the Kagura.
Naku, kumuha ng mga bros ko agad dito yung Aura PH. Kumuha sila ng Tams, kumuha sila ng Grok. And this is para sa akin yung winning formula na iniisip dito ng Aura PH is to just go for that Kagura.
Yeah.
Ang dami nagagawa ni Kagura ngayon, napaka-swabe ng utility niya, yung mga stuns niya instantaneous. Pag pumasok ka pa at nag-mix or nag-join ulit kayo nung payong, nagkakaroon ka pa ng extra armor. But for Work Oster, they get the show. And this is the surprise and change na hinahanap natin kanina pa kasi parang sabihin na natin, although may mga heroes na nababago, identical pa rin yung gusto nilang gawin.
Yeah.
And Sylvana is yung change na hinahanap dito ng Work Oster.
kailangan nila ng konting tankiness sa kanilang side. And Sylvana, syempre may konting sustain yan. Hindi naman siya kasing kunat ng isang Grok, but at the same time, hindi naman siya kasing lambot ng isang Digi. At ang bonus sa kanya is meron siyang extra catch. Ayaw nilang makatakas itong si Kagura or si Thams or maging sobrang problema sa kanila sa mid games. That's why they already took this Sylvana. This also tells us na mukhang side lane Cho pa rin para sa itong Work Oster Force. Nag-work na siya before, it can work again. Thams versus Cho in the side lane. Yan ang gustong matchup na ipakita ng Work Oster Force. And in a way, may konting advantage sila pareha sa isa't isa. Cho being mas maganda siya sa team fight, mas maaga siya mag-online when it comes to team fights. Thams naman kaya mag-farm until such time na hindi na siya problemado sa damage output ng Esmeralda. In fact, biglang sasakit ang isang Thams.
Alam mo, Wolf, iniisip ko ang Work Oster dito ang nasa utak nila ngayon. Aura PH, lagi sila nagma-marksman jungle. Kunin natin yung Cho, kasi naka-retribution naman lagi si JP. You don't really see JP on the lands, on the ling. Kung makakapili siya ng isang marksman, mas gugustuhin nila yon.
Yeah.
If they can go for a YSS, itatandaan natin, ever since Season 2, ever since Season 3, kilala talaga si JP as a marksman.
Yeah. We can see na yung Claude niya last season is very impressive. Baka nga makita ulit tayo.
Impressive is an understatement.
That is true. Ang lupit ng kanyang pinakita. Carry was the... Okay. Okay. Carry, talaga. I was just about to say, Carry maganda siya sa Thams at sa Grok. At pinik na siya ng Work Oster Force. Hindi na naghintay. 100% sure that this is their shredder para sa Aura PH. Handa ba sila dito? You know what? Bakit hindi tayo, bakit hindi sila magling para sa Aura PH?
Pwede.
That could be good.
Pwede. Pero alam mo, nakikita ko na yung ngiti ngayon nung Marksman Jin.
Ay, syempre.
Kasi nagagamit na naman daw ulit yung carry.
He's going for the Phantom Step. He's going for the Phantom Step.
1, 2, 3, 4, Phantom Step. Yun yung mga favorite ni Manjin. Pero,
Aura
PH, the moment na sinabi natin na hindi gumagamit si JP ng mga marksman, ng mga assassins as much as possible, ito din yung pagbabago na hinahanap nila. And I think this is a great move coming up from them kasi isipin mo, kayang-kaya mo hulihin yung carry.
Yeah. Oh, very interesting mula doon sa side ng Aura PH to go for the Lancelot, which I'll explain later. I think yung Work Oster Force, they need a mage na magandang clear somewhere along the lines of Chango, but instead they go Kadita. Okay, and this is interesting mula sa side ng Work Oster Force. Kasi yung Aura PH, nabigyan sila ng pass na kumuha ng Lancelot kasi pag tinignan mo yung unang 4 na picks ng Work Oster Force, parang isa lang yung talagang panghuli, which kind of means na yung Lancelot, ay, playing field ko to. Pero kumuha yung Work Oster Force ng additional, which is the Kadita, na pwede ding pang-counter dun sa mga, alam mo yung nakatayo lang na heroes like Khalid, kasi instant stun yan. And also, pwedeng mag-burst kapag may nahuli na nga. When the Lancelot gets caught here, Butters, once na mahuli yan, meron kang immediate burst from the Kagura. Ngayon nga lang, question mark is, mahuhuli ba si JP?
Yun ang tanong. Tingnan natin, guys. And looking at it, Aura PH versus Work Oster Force. Sino nga ba mananalo? Sa game number 3 netong series na to, it is a 1-1. Sino nga ba ang makakuha ng points? At sino nga ba ang kailangan bumalik sa drawing board?
Who's gonna get the confidence? Yun lang lang tinitignan ko dito.
Confidence din.
Kasi para sa side ng Aura PH, sobrang importante na manalo sila sa unang laban na ito. Unang series. They wanted to gain yung kanilang championship stance, kumbaga. Pero ganong skill na nakikita natin mula kay Paquito. Pero para naman sa Work Oster Force, this is just more about confidence. Kung kaya nilang talunin ng Aura PH, for sure, kahit sino kaya nilang talunin. Because they know that they belong here in the league. Kailangan ng Work Oster Force na mapakita sa lahat ng viewers ngayon na yung kanilang performance ng qualifiers ay hindi pang qualifiers lang.
And look at Dream RTZ dito. Nag-hold off siya ng kanyang pangatlo, yung Jit Kundo, di ba tatlo yun? Yung Jit, yun Kun, yun Do.
Tama.
Hinold niya yung Do.
Oo. Hindi niya muna nilabas.
Hindi niya muna nilabas yung Do. Nung nilabas niya yung Do, wala na. Taas ang damage.
This, by the way, is Season 5 Aura PH, kung saan sila ang Gods of Invade. Mahilig sila mag-invade At nakita mo si Reflesha, ginamit niya si Kiluwash, wala na silang pakialam. Kinuha nila, ninakaw nila yung orange buff na dapat ay na kay Chu. Para naman si Lancelot, which is JP, hindi na siya problema.
At gagawin nila yun kasi si Reflesha dito ay tutumba. And if ikaw ang Aura, makikita mo, napaka-ultimate dependent nung supporting tandem ng isang carry.
Yeah.
Talagang mag-invade ka eh.
And yung si JP on the Lancelot, normally, ang iyong jungler, pinoprotektahan mo para makakuha ng buffs. But, Aura PH, ang kanilang ginawa is the typical Aura PH nung Sunsparks pa nga sila nung Season 5, kung saan nanggugulo lang sila. So yung si Reflection at si Greed, imbis na protektahan nila si Lancelot, or yung si jungler na si JP, kumuha na lang sila ng aggressive stance against their opponents para mahirapang makahabol yung Work Osterforce. Kaya nga naman, early game now goes to Aura PH.
Very cute dito. Tinatalon nila Chu and Kosei. Nakuha niya yung kill. Chu on the other hand, medyo kinapos na ng only yung damage niya doon. That could have been a killing spree proc, pero at least nakuha nila yung kill.
I think yung Aura PH, happy sila na i-sacrifice lagi yung isang hero nila para maging successful yung ibang parts naman ng mapa. Like this time, Kiluwash, makakuha na naman ng orange buff. In fact, ibibigay nila kay JP. So, sobrang taas ng difference ngayon ng ating mga junglers. Kasi si Carry, dependent siya na may medyo nagbabantay sa kanya. So, that's why Unravel as well as RTZ, medyo kailangan nilang i-bodyguard yung kanilang carry.
Oy!
But this time, the burst! We were talking about this, Butters. At yun na nga, yung reason kung ba't Kadita yung kinuha.
Nilagyan ng hydraulics mga kaibigan. Lancelot na patalon, get bounce. Raplisha dito, siya ang pinaka-main target. And another bounce, another knock-up para dito sa Aura PH. And that is 2 kills na almost simultaneous. It just happened on a different side of a map.
My goodness, RTZ, very impressive sa kanyang pwestuhan sa mapa. Game number 1 yung kanyang Kagura, naalala mo, bigla siya naka-burst ng isang hero sa mid-game. Ngayon naman, early game Kadita, alam niya na level 4 na siya. Alam niya na may damage output na siya. Nag-antay siya dun sa bush na pwedeng daanan ni Lancelot. And JP, hindi niya talaga i-expect yun.
Tsaka, kung iisipin mo din dito, Wolfa, papasinin mo yung lineup ng Aura, wala na sila masyadong pang face check dito. Wala silang masyadong pang check ng brush dito kung hindi mag-face check. Bruce ko sila, pero kung iisipin mo, mag-face check ka laban sa isang Kadita, almost always certain na madadala ka niya sa, sabihin natin, 1/4 HP o baka mabura ka niya.
And just like in that case, the Lancelot, malambot masyado against the Lancelot. At ngayon yung Work Osterforce nakahanap ng biglang ng launch pad to get more farm ngayon. In fact, nagbabalk na sila sa turtle, pero medyo magbaback sila. As Aura PH, maganda yung kanilang pwestuhan dito. Lalong-lalo naman sila Grok!
Then again, ladies and gentlemen, merong Kagura doon. And look at that, Khaled going in. 3 Martis dito, gets punished. That's going to be a double kill para kay Kiluwash. Kosei dito, hinahabol siya ni Kiluwash at galit na galit si Kiluwash dito. And look at that! RTZ with the play! And nahuli niya dito si Lancelot, pero that won't be enough. Grabe ang ginagawa ni RTZ dito. Talagang pinipilit niya na ma-burst down etong si JP. At sa 2 beses na sinubukan niya gawin, successful siya sa 2 yon.
And it's worth it. Kahit namatay na doon si RTZ, okay lang. Nakuha sila ng, pinigilan nila yung pag-farm dito ng Aura PH. Then again, I would love to take note ang ganda ng ginawa dito ni Benny Cutie. After that fight, dumiretso siya dun sa purple buff na dapat ay na kay Chu. That's why mahirapan na naman ulit makarecover si Chu when it comes to the farm. Kailangan ng Work Osterforce ng way para makakuha ng items dito si Chu, pero pinipigilan talaga lagi sila ng Aura PH. Kanina, yung orange buff yung target ng Aura. But this time, yung purple buff naman, using Benny Cutie, the thumbs, para sila ang makakuha ng advantage in jungle control over Work.
Alam mo, laban lang talaga para sa akin dito ng mga support ko eh. Kailangan maghanapan dito si Kagura at si Kadita kasi sila ang nagiging main piece of the puzzle para mapanalo etong game na to. 3 Martizi dodging that, pero hindi magmamatter. Tutumba pa rin siya.
That's a tank para sa isang side laner na trade-off for Aura PH. Obviously, mas gusto yan ng Aura PH. Yung next na point of contention of, for this game, Butters, ay syempre yung ating turtle. The third turtle of the game. 6 minutes in pa lang. Pero ang RPH, ang ginawa nila na lang ay kumuha ng pressure sa other part of the map. And syempre, with the Lancelot and Tams na maganda naman ang simula ng laban, for sure makakuha sila ng third.
Unravel dito. Sinusubukan niya gamitin talaga yung brush, pero still, Greed is in the area, kaya hindi niya masasabi na safe siya anytime. Kasi pagka binatoan siya ng payong, makikita siya na nandun siya, and that's going to be an engage para dito kay Raflesia and kay Greed. So, feeling ko ganun lang talaga, Wolf, yung yung formula dito para kay Ore. Kailangan lang nila lagi ma-pinpoint kung asan dito yung Kadita. Pagka nagamit nila yung payong nila ng tama, si Greed maggamit niya yung payong ng tama, talagang sila yung magkakaproblema dito. But looking at it, Unravel, forced to use the Imperial Justice para lang makatakas.
Yeah. Chu happily farming. Although, hindi siya kasing bilis ni JP for sure. Kasi si JP ay nakakuha ng mga turtle takes, which means more farm on his side. Pero, hindi naman siya ganun ka-concerned sa ngayon. I think yung AutoPH, yung kanilang pressure sa mapa ay paunti-unti nang nawawala dahil patating na tayo sa mid-game. That's why work, it kind of feels like hindi sila nagpapanik. Hindi sila sobra-sobra nag-decide na parang, okay, pilit natin sa ibang part ng mapa. Sige, ibigay natin yung turtle. Kasi alam nila na kung farm lang ang laban, syempre naka-marksman sila. But they have to be careful. Look at JP.
Nahuli lang stun si JP dito, pero
oh my God!
Petrify was there! And nahuli din si JP. I think nasasagot na dito ni RTZ yung tanong natin kanina kung mauhuli ba. Yes, nauhuli niya.
Oh my goodness. RTZ showing up, pero sabi ni Greed, okay, wait lang. Ako muna ang mid lane god.
Naghuli na yan. Tatandaan mo, ano ang ginagawa mo para hindi mabasa? Nagpapayong ka.
Payong lang.
Nagpapayong ka. Yun naman talaga yun.
Counter, kumbaga.
Counter ang payong sa tubig, technically.
Sa ulan.
Sa ulan. Pero alam mo naman, Kuya Wolf, etong si Kadita, galing sa ilalim yung tubig. Gumagana ba yun doon? Feeling ko hindi pero sabi nito.
Depende sa timing.
Depende sa timing. Totoo naman, depende sa timing.
Okay.
Kasi, tinamaan siya dito ng isang wild charge pero wala sa pwesto yung mga members dito ng Aura PH para gawin yon ng isang kill.
I love the fact na ginagamit nila yung si Kiluwash this time aggressively kasi normally siya yung parang medyo laid back yung dynamic kasi ni Kiluwash pati ni Benny Cutie, normally talaga nagpa-farm sila parehas. But this time may isang aggressive na player which is Kiluwash in this moment and Benny Cutie a little bit on the back end, medyo nag-farm. I like that dynamics from sa Aura PH. It makes it so na kahit dumating tayo sa late game ay meron pa ring laban ang Aura PH. Even against this carry na 4-0-1 na ngayon.
Tingnan mo yung pwest dito ni RTZ. JP going in. They want the turtle now. Turtle will be secured. Hindi na pipilit dito ng work. Magtatakbuhan na lang sila. Look at that discipline coming out from this new team. Talagang hindi sila magpipilit kasi alam nila may nakukuha sila dun sa may taas, which is si Dream RTZ with a split push. So hindi rin masasabi dito na basta-basta lang natatalod yung work dahil nakukuha ng Aura yung objectives katulad ng turtle kasi napapaliit din naman ni Dream RTZ yung mapa nila.
That's absolutely right. Sabi kasi ng work, let's not fight head-on kasi alam natin na yung draft nila at pati na rin yung items na nakuha nila sa una ay mas malakas. Kaya nga naman, mag-split push na lang sila. Like yung deaths on Unravel for this time, hindi ganun kataas yung impact niyan for Work Oster Force kasi nakapag-farm pa rin yung ating carry as well as the Esmeralda, pati na rin yung Cho. Kanya-kanyang lane sila at eventually ay makakuha sila ng enough farm to go up against Aura PH in a head-on collision.
Greed! Tumalon sa may likod! Kiluwash dito! Catching out Kadita! Kosei dito na Guardian's Barrier! Tatakbuhin ba nila to? Wild Charge hindi tatama pero sabi ng Aura, disiplina, kailangan natin tumingin sa objectives, hindi to padamihan ng patay. Kailangan natin palitin yung mapa nila.
Nakita natin na yung significance ng Wild Charge even from before, isa sa mga pinakamalalakas na ultimate dahil sa kanya knock-up, pati na rin yung damage output. Raflesia with the perfect timing para counterin yung pag-defend ng Work Oster Force kahit gaano kakayaman bilang carry. Isang stun, isang burst mula sa Lancelot, you're gone.
Alam mo, nakikita na rin natin dito yung importansya na ginagawa dito ng sprint. Given na hindi nga naka-tank or sabihin natin support emblems dito si Raflesia, kailangan niya ng extra protection And yung extra protection na yun, hindi yun magagawa ng Aegis, di yung magagawa ng Flicker. Kasi para sa akin, pag nag-Flicker ang Croc offensive eh.
Yes.
Diba? So, ibig sabihin, kapag nag-sprint ka, it's a good mix ng pagiging aggressive at pagiging balansyado din sa lahat ng ginagawa.
At sobrang taas ng value ng sprint sa early stages of the game. Nakita naman natin si Reflection na nakapag-provide ng vision, pati rin na rin ng tempo when it comes to jungle control. At ngayon, sa mga mismong laban, yung high and dry, ito yung medyo tricky para sa akin. Yes, mas malambot ang isang Grok na naka-high and dry compared sa isang Grok na naka-pull yourself together. Pero kung damage output, gamit ang wild charge, lalong-lalo na sa turret sieges, masakit yan.
Pero Kosei dito, with a Falling Star Moon, hindi ka masasalba niyan. Unravel dito, look at the damage coming out from Greed. Tank Sylvana yan. Tank Sylvana yan.
Napuwersa ang Work Oster Force na maghiwa-hiwalay sa mapa. Kosei, of course, when going up against 3 heroes, mapapatay yan. Even si Reflection, hindi na kinailangan doon kasi mataas na yung farm ng Lancelot. Kaya naman nababurst na yung Esmeralda. But look at that. Another kill, even committing yung kanilang wild charge para sa isang Kadita kasi alam nila at this point, Kadita pa lang yung problema mula sa Work Oster Force.
Hinapos, mga kaibigan, yung palabas dito ni RTZ. Kaya niya sanang lagpasan yun eh. Pero kasi, wala, dulong-dulong. Ganda ng Guardian's Barrier.
Oh man, look at that. Si Great with the combo.
And Dream RTZ will try to get away. Thorn Rose, hindi na nga kinakailangan pero binato pa rin. And this could be the final push. Tingnan natin kung paano didepensahan ng work etong siege na ginagawa ngayon ng Aura PH.
It seems very difficult.
Unravel? Uy, nahuli na si JP dito. That is a step in the right direction if they want to do this. Skill wash dito, pumasok siya with the ultimate. Pero wala masyadong damage na ginawa si RTZ. Pero parang bilyar! Tatlong tao ang tinamaan dito. Naka-flee siya ng wild charge. And that is it! Aura PH wins the second series of the MPL PH Season 7.
Para sa Aura PH, di nila gusto yung mga pinaka-perfect, yung pinaka-flawless when it comes to sieging. Willing silang mag-sacrifice ng kanilang mga heroes. This time, even yung kanilang jungler na si JP, zinone out yung kalaban using all of the minions para makapag-unli dash, kumbaga. Kaso nahuli pa rin, but it was too late. Dahil nakapag-set up na yung Aura PH para makapag-take down ng 3 tore, sabay sinargo pa ni Raplesia Batares.
The Magician.
The Magician.
The Magician, tama yun. And that winning moment, ladies and gentlemen, is brought to you by Master. Hindi sila na GG. Instead, they brought their clay game with Master, sikreto ng mga gwapo. And that was a very gwapo play galing sa Aura PH. Dun sa mga last moments na yun,
yeah, for sure.
Antindi.
So many things that happened. Gustong-gusto ko yung mga pag-connecta nila para may trap silang